drinker, getting trashed with the Web3 thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop up the cork, have a glass of wine. That's feel safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, Mauler and the Critical Drinker.
Hello, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
We're here. We made it. And sorry we're late and gay as always, but that's become a thing now for us. We remember when we used to start on time, Muller? Like, right on
no.
the dot, 9 o'clock. What's
I feel like every
happened
show I'm a part of doesn't start on time. They need to start making start times at like 7:50 or 4:50. You know, get that 10-minute buffer so that
just play mind games with yourself almost. Like, you know, sometimes you can set your watch like 5 minutes fast, so you're like early for things and stuff. Just start doing it like that. But yeah, we were here and we made it, and this is my first open bar for several weeks actually, because I've been away on holiday and stuff, and we haven't had time for it, so I'm glad to be back.
Yeah,
and I'm still complete with my non-tan that I got from being away in the sun for a week. So great, that's what
the curse of being British.
Anyway, we've got a whole bunch of guests tonight, haven't we? We've got a bunch of nice people, and they're all first timers on open bar tonight.
Wow, how excited!
Yeah, let us bring them in. First of all, we've got YoungRippa. Hey man,
what's up, man? How y'all doing?
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on. Honestly, it's people have been asking me to bring you on for ages, and it's just great that you've been able to make it tonight. So thanks for coming on for this, mate.
I appreciate y'all having me on. This is fun. Probably a little overdue. Probably should have both of y'all on my channel by now, but hey, better later than never, I guess.
Yeah, well, we're happy to come on anytime. Oh,
absolutely.
Well, I won't speak for Mauler on that one. I am.
Well, me and Mauler, we've done a bunch of streams together.
We've been on Friday Night Tights a couple times.
Yeah.
All right, nice one. Next one is joining us with a stable internet connection. That's this time, Mr. H Reviews.
I'm back, sort of. Well, I'm here properly now. Sorry about that. Thanks for having me again.
I mean, I say this is your first time. We caught a few seconds of you like last
Briefly.
time, and it was a valiant effort. But yeah, I just didn't quite make it. So
such a pain. Yeah, I'm here. Glad to be here.
Say that Alien vs Predator little thing back there. That's great. I love it.
They're playing chess.
Yeah, it's really
well.
nice.
What you don't see is and quite befitting for this stream is the Predator has a nice glass of whiskey in his hand.
Perfect. It's just the thing when you're having a nice evening in. But yeah, I think it's good to have you on at last, man. Again, this is one that people have been asking for ages. So finally, we've been able to make it happen. So it's all good. And last of all, we've got Paul Chato, who is prolific YouTuber now, former TV network executive, and all-round expert on the movie industry. So,
so
you should be able to answer some interesting questions for us tonight.
More TV. I was a TV executive, but I can extrapolate into the movie business.
Nice one.
Oh, I just extrapolated in my pants. Sorry.
This is a family-friendly stream, so I don't.
Sorry,
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah. I mean, these streams are well known for no swearing, non-controversial subjects that we discuss here.
Am I allowed to use the term Wankel rotary engine? Can I say that?
You're all right with that, yeah.
We will allow it.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I used to have a Mazda RX-8, and it had a wanker inside it, and it was the best and worst car that I've ever owned.
No.
How many times you get it rebuilt?
The 7 had the good engine. The 8 was a piece of crap.
Yeah, the engine was great, but it never needed anything done to it apart from the fact that I flooded it about 5 times. Because whenever you switch the fucking thing on, you've got to run it for about half an hour, and if you shut it down too early, it floods the engine, and then you're not going to get it started again unless you get a tow truck out. Fucking nightmare.
Welcome to Auto Week, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway.
What was the British show with the 3 guys?
Top Gear.
Top
Gear.
Yeah, Top Gear. Okay. Pleasure to be on. Thank you for inviting me.
No, thank you, man. I guess I was going to ask you, actually, since you're on, and you're kind of a knowledgeable guy about, how decisions are made behind the scenes in Hollywood, how things get commissioned, and the direction that the whole entertainment industry is kind of heading. So I guess my question to you would be, why is everything so fucking shit now?
It's always been shit. It's just it was an accident that it wasn't.
Oh,
I like that
There
answer.
were
lucky.
the
Convenient.
process is exactly the same. The egos are just as bad. The need to get reservation at Spago's is just as strong. The difference is that the talent pool available is really bad now. You're not getting the Sidney Lumets, that era of Norman Jewison, all that pool of, and I said this in one of my videos. These were left-wing artists, but they knew their craft. So what we're left with is left-wing artists who don't know their craft. That's it. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, that's fair play. It just kind of feels like, well, I guess we've all talked about it on our various channels, that the quality of writing, the quality of movies and storytelling in general just has fallen off a cliff the past 5 years or so. And
Massively.
it's not a great thing to witness, especially when they do it to franchises and characters that we really like, that we've grown up with, and then you see this happen to them. It's just disheartening, man. But yeah, I don't know. Do you think there's any end in sight? Do you think they'll ever pull out of this death spiral that they're in, or is
they need to backfill middle level movies? You've got the low and the high, the cheap and the expensive.
Yeah.
And we're missing, not that it wasn't cheap, but My Dinner with Andre is a really compelling small film. And we're just not getting those, and then that I shouldn't include that as a mid-level. We're just not getting the mid-level films. There's no budget. No one is applying money. And so if we did more thoughtful films in the heat of the night, or whatever you want to call it, then maybe we can save Hollywood.
Do you think that maybe the streaming services and TV shows are starting to take over that even industry or audience?
Yep. We've seen that already, but now they've fallen off the edge of the cliff for reasons that I don't know. For a period of time, the streaming services were really the go-to place for those kinds of movies. So you tell me what's happened.
this?
We've all got so many different takes
about
on
streaming services now, man. It's so oversaturated.
Yes. Yep.
Every week there's a new streaming service being made. Every single week. Oh, this company's got one now. Oh, this company's like, come on now. You can't split the market that much.
We've got not just streaming services that are doing content to different levels. Hulu's not really doing their own content, but we also have just a crap ton of repurposed streamers like Acorn TV. Like there's 100 of niche streamers.
Acorn? What's Acorn?
It brings Brit TV to Canada and the United States.
Okay. That's why we've never heard of it.
I've never even heard of it.
We want our fill of British television, then we sign up for Acorn TV.
Well, yeah, of course, because Doctor Who would be in great demand right now for Americans to have access to, isn't it?
Mulder, were you one of the 12 people that watched the latest one?
Yes, Jay forced me to. So
I didn't see it, man.
You know what's funny about it is Jay offered, like, do you want to see the episode? This is sort of a sequel to from the Pertwee era, and I was like, yeah, sure. And that was pretty fun. I liked it. Then we got to the bottom one. I was like, oh, yeah, this is the exact same garbage.
It was the Sea Devils, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember the original one where like the Sea Devils are coming out of the sea, obviously. And they're obviously just prosthetic heads on actors' bodies, and one of them was like turned the wrong way, so it's like that. Oh wait.
You get all the awkward production. That's the thing, man. It's just like back then, way less money and control over like creative presentation, but the writing was better. Like it was way more.
Yeah.
And they had more time with these episodes, so oftentimes they would like spend it on just more conversations between people like the Master and the Doctor, which is actually interesting stuff.
And they're good actors as well.
Oh, that's I think what carried it big time. Yeah,
British actors.
I called this episode the Power of the Dog-ter Who.
Oh, so punny.
It was tough to watch.
I said I wasn't going to watch any until the final episode of Jodie's era.
You're
so
finally there. Almost.
I know. Well, what is it going to be in like Christmas time or something that comes out? That final episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Gary does. Obviously, he's
It's normally
Yeah.
Christmas, I think, isn't it? They did a
Everyone's on
Christmas
Death
special,
Watch.
and then things sort of cross over from there. I thought, isn't it?
I can't wait
for
for Jodie Whittaker's death to be the most viewed of all of her episodes.
I think
just,
so.
like, tuning in to see this happen. It's beautiful.
You just know, like they'll pull out all the stops to make it like the most dignified, like,
of course, yeah.
epic, heroic death ever. Like nothing will kill her; she'll just like voluntarily
So-
die or something.
She'll solve AIDS in Africa before she does it. That's what happens.
Yeah,
She'll cure cancer as well.
she'll just
I
be
wouldn't be
like,
surprised
I'm too
if she
awesome.
saves the
Suffocated
world
in a
several
pair of
times.
too tight Spanx. I think that's how she's done.
Yeah. It's garbage. And like I got to that the Timeless Child, and that was it for me. I was done with Doctor Who. I just said I'm not going to watch
Yeah.
anymore. I'm not going to review anymore until it's over. And that's pretty much where we're at. And I've stuck to it, and I'm a happier man because of it. Like I haven't subjected myself to the flux or whatever the fuck it was. And I feel fine.
Dude, I watched it and I don't even know what it was.
Yeah. No one knows. No one knows. Even the writers. No one cares. And yeah, no one seems to watch it anymore anyway.
And I
But
think
hey, on the plus side, there's a new Thor movie coming.
woohoo!
Oh yes.
I guess you guys have all seen the trailer for it.
I
So,
have seen the trailer, and I
hand.
correct
Who-
you, Drinker. Is it really a Thor movie? I don't know. It seems
Well,
more
I
like
was
a
gonna
Jane
say-
Foster movie.
Just for like canvassing opinion here, right? Show of hands. Who's excited to see this film? Oh wait, really?
Well,
I
after I
mean-
saw that she actually really did work out, I got okay. And I'm a Taika Waititi fan. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
I love Jojo Rabbit. I
Oh.
love Hunt for the Wilder People. Those are the kind of movies that he excels at.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Exceptional.
I sort of understand how he rescued the Thor movies because they were just kind of stodgy and they didn't really have a strong sense of identity and they were kind of shit. And he brought out Thor Ragnarok and it was just a breath of fresh air. Looking back on it now, for me, it's too goofy. I think they kind of do Thor a disservice. I think he plays second fiddle to Valkyrie for most of the film and just kind of gets led from place to place by her. And I don't feel like it really added to his character. If anything, I think it took away from it. But I sort of understand the necessity of doing it. I just didn't feel like we needed another one. And here we are. We've got it because there's an original Avenger that's still alive. So I guess we've got to
Destroy
milk
it. Maybe,
Yeah, and then
maybe. Okay, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I'm
the-
not excited. I'm worried about this one.
My
Same for Mad
only-
Multiverse.
My only criticism will be if the trailer is bait and switch.
That's
this-
very likely.
Then I'll be
All of
mad.
them.
I would be willing to bet this is Valkyrie's story and female Thor's story.
Mhm.
And you'll never fucking convince me that Natalie Portman has arms like that. Those are CGI
So that-
arms for
so that-
sure.
that's-
CGI. Huh?
So that is I mean, look, that's what I used to do. I was a teacher. Like I taught people anatomy and physiology. I can say with the utmost certainty that's not what she looks like. Like it's not.
Yeah.
If you line it up, and this is a professional opinion, if you line it up with the set photo as well, it's not one and the same. Not even remotely one and the same.
Yeah.
And people crying on the internet about it as well. No, you're just misinformed. There's no amount of lighting that will do that. There's not. Like muscular structure doesn't work
Hey,
like that.
Mr. H,
no.
can I introduce you to a little game called The Last of Us 2? I want to hear your opinions
Yeah.
on the same character.
I was one of those ones that got copyright blocked and all that by
Ah.
Muso Limited. That bloody
Oh, yeah,
I
those
know all
guys.
about that.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have bothered with that to try and ruin them. You should just play their game and then have people watch you do that. That's the best way to criticize that game. I've been watching Az
dear.
play. It's funny.
Yeah, he was just fucking hating me the whole time because I made him play it so we could do a
Dude, he's
review of
so
it together.
miserable.
Yeah. He messaged me at one point, like near the end, and he was like, "How much longer?"
I'm at the point in his playthrough where he's like, I've got 10 hours before I have to do the Drinker podcast, and I think there's about 10 hours left of this game, so here we go.
Yeah, he finished it like minutes before we did our live stream about it, and he was just fucking raging the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, with Thor 4, yeah, what's your guys' impressions of this trailer? I'd kind of like a little bit of a round table.
Well, in case someone is like, "Wait, what do you mean bait and switch?" So that trailer, and I'm assuming, is it right if I call you Paul?
Yeah,
I assume so.
Yeah.
I assume you have a similar perspective that trailer makes it seem like it's about him, the film, and it's about him figuring out what's going on in his life, and there's a bit of interaction. It's going to be pretty fun with the Guardians. That's probably going to be 5 minutes at most, and then they're gone. And then the part about him is more so probably going to be that he's like, I don't want to do fighting no more. And then the new Thor will be like, fighting good, you should. And he's going to be like, maybe you were right after. And if we get that, man, I swear to God.
But that's my point.
That's going to be like, you've shown me the way. You're more worthy to be Thor than I am. I'm just going to go aside and make way for you.
Please, no.
Fucking hell, man! It's the MCU. Gary called it, and it's exactly right. You can set your watch.
That's what they did in the comics, so that's what they're gonna. That's they only like to reference source material when it benefits whatever goofy ass narrative they have. So that's what happened. They used characters like Odin and Thor to try to validate Jane Foster's existence, so they would write them in to basically be representative of the audience, and they'd say, "Hey, Odin's like." Thor, what the fuck? It's your name. How do you have this damn woman going around acting like you? And then Thor would say, well, she's way better suited to be Thor than I am, type shit.
Oh, great.
So, absolutely anticipate certainly that, because that's the direction that this Marvel Cinematic Universe certainly is going. But it will be also just par for the course for what we're seeing. We got this King Valkyrie fucking thing that I still don't fucking understand what they're trying to do with that.
Nobody does.
So she had a sex change between movies, then she's got a dick now.
That's what it is. That makes more sense now.
And the same expression for every single movie. And she's also wearing the suit from MIB, didn't you know?
Yeah.
Money says
pantsuit
from one
I don't know if you saw it, but Gary put a tweet out. It was like the many faces of Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
It's just her with that same fucking look on her face in every movie.
Terrible actress. Absolutely awful.
Why does she keep getting gigs? Like, she must know where the bodies are buried or something.
I mean, we've seen images of nothing. Yeah, who knows? Talent
is very
talent.
Very raw acting talent.
Raw talent.
I have to say that as a non-British person, that anyone with a British accent sounds like they're acting. It's impressive when you hear.
All of us start doing American instead. Let's go. Drinker. Let's go. Come on.
Who can do the best American accent?
Out of me, Mr. H, and Drinker? Why don't we find out?
Yeah, give it a shot. I'll be the judge.
I can say 3 words in a high-pitched voice. It sounds super lame, so I'm not going to do it.
Drinker, what you got? Come on.
That's about all I
Drinker,
can do.
can you do an American accent?
I don't know, man.
Eric
My
can judge.
accent's kind of shitty.
That's not bad.
Texas. I like it. Yeah.
All I can do is a southern accent, man.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, the same.
I like doing Texas accents. That's one of my favorite accents I like doing, because you get to talk really fast and sound like all sorts of people in Texas, because that's how they talk, down there.
Yeah.
So you got to open up a second channel and review things like that.
Yeah.
Make them hyper positive.
I like positive.
Yeah, people are talking about Mahler's wholesome critic.
Oh, well, gosh darn, it's so nice to hang out with y'all and talk about the dying film industry, but ultimately they're trying so hard out there.
I like it.
You approve, Eric?
Yeah, I approve of that one for sure.
People want me to make that channel. I'm just like, dude, it would be so painful. Constantly. It's all right.
Well,
Everything's going to work out.
American directors like hiring British actors because they're better trained than the American ones.
They're thespians, oftentimes.
It's true.
It used to be that they were your dependable villains. You want like a cold, educated villain. A Brit was who you would go to.
Absolutely.
Now you just get Mads Mikkelsen, villain for everything.
Yeah,
he's the Phil slot for like any production that needs an actor who's basically a bad guy all the time.
Get Mikkelsen.
I have man. He was in Rogue One and Doctor Strange, and nobody even remembers that because he didn't get to do anything in either of them.
This is the thing. Like he's like the Charles. He's like a young Charles Dance or a younger Charles Dance, where it's like an actor that's usually far too good for the roles that he's in.
Yeah, he's great. He's very, very good.
Like Charles Dance, you see him in things like Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" This incredible British actor like brings gravitas to anything.
It's fucking nuts that it's probably Game of Thrones that got him that role, and you're like, okay, like I don't see why, because he had like a really big uptick in playing generals or commanders or scientists. You'll always be that character. It's kind of like he's just Christopher Lee now that Christopher Lee's gone. And yeah, who knows who'll take that mantle when I think Charles Dance just keeps doing work. By the way, did you guys see that he was like semi-recently in some TV show where he got like a full prosthetic outfit to look like the devil?
No.
What?
I was just like, how old is this man and how is he doing this? And he talks about how he's just like, yeah, he fucking loves this shit, which is awesome. But just like, wow,
just up for anything. It's like when Tim Curry was dressed up as the devil for Legend, was it?
Yeah,
it's full prosthetic for that one as well. Either that or he worked out like crazy. I don't fucking know.
Brits
none
make
of that was
very
prosthetics.
good. Brits make very good bad guys.
Yeah. That was the thing that was missing, I guess, from that trailer. It's like, who's the baddie?
Yeah. Oh wow. I know why they're hiding it, because I've got images of him and he looks fucking terrible. You are not ready for how bad he looks.
I thought everyone
back.
I've got
everyone knew who's the bad guy for this movie.
Josh
Did you not drink?
Brolin,
Yes, it's Christian Bale as Gore, but Gore traditionally,
isn't it? Yeah, I just
Gore traditionally doesn't have a nose. He's got like it looks a bit like Voldemort, and he's got like tendrils and stuff. It's not.
I'm Batman.
It's not anything like that. It's pretty bad. It's real bad, in fact. Looks like he's got a skin disease. It's real. He's got a nose and everything. He's got black, spiky teeth. Looks like he's been
again. Like you've got this great actor in Christian Bale. Putting him in a shit role like this.
Oh, it's so bad. The images I've got are atrocious. They are some of the worst
Speaking of
stuff
Christian
ever.
Bale and good actors, so I've got a question for everyone. At one point, you would never, in a lifetime, see an A-list actor in a B kind of movie, effects movie. Now they're rushing all of them to be superheroes. So I open that up. Why? How?
Long-term payday.
Career safety sort of thing, I assume.
It's a long-term payday. They get signed up for like 5-10 movies. So if they do well, they're like, yeah, cool, let's do it.
I guess that's it.
I mean, it's like Mo, who was it we interviewed?
Jason Fleming.
Yeah, Jason Fleming, and he kind of explained it. It was like he kind of splits his time between doing big budget movies where you get a big payday, but it's kind of a shit film, and he knows it is, and then that allows him to then do these like smaller independent movies that are just more challenging, more different, more interesting, and so he's got those two different like levels of working. One that pays the bills and is just he doesn't care too much about the other one that's
yeah. I think it was like Mike on RLM that said Adam Driver, like, Star Wars pays for his second house, but Marriage Story pays for a coffee. But it's like Marriage Story is the shit that he actually got into this for.
Yeah.
So,
but don't you think Cumberbatch likes playing Doctor Strange?
He must do, with the amount he's willing to, because like he keeps popping up in other people's movies now as well. He seems like the most used Marvel. I think he's like next in line from their POV in terms of like, we lost Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and the Hulk just doesn't have as much of a pull. So maybe Benedict Cumberbatch, because he's a successful actor on his own, and Doctor Strange is a character people really enjoy seeing, that he's like the focal point. Because remember, they don't have as much access to Spider-Man as they want. They don't have as much control over him.
Right. That makes sense.
When you were talking about actors there that sign up for these movies, what's really sad is that Matt Smith for years had resisted all kinds of offers to do superhero films, like probably quite good roles, and then he took the role in Morbius, and it's an absolute disaster. And the only reason he took it was because Karen Gillan, who starred with him on Doctor Who, said to him, like, I played Nebula and it's been fantastic. I had a great experience. I got to do loads of point of view. You should do it too. And he thought, you know what, Karen, I'm going to do it.
That
And I'm
What a
guy.
Karen, man.
He's got a short straw in Hollywood. He's a good actor. What a shame.
He
Yeah.
is. He just picks shit films, man.
He's got a bad agent. I mean, God,
Well, now he's
Terminator
in the fucking-
Genesis, fucking
He's in the next
Star
Game of
Wars,
Thrones show, isn't he, as well?
Morbius.
I love Nebula.
Nebula's awesome.
Yeah, she was great. And, they've done good things with her. And I'm sure it's been fine for Karen Gillan's career. It's done her no harm.
Hmm.
She's not hard to look at.
No,
That is
no.
true.
If you watch Jumanji, man,
Mm.
she fills out those hot pants pretty nicely.
They knew what they had when they were giving her stuff to do in that movie.
And she was
Yeah,
very good.
very
in that movie.
apparent.
She played that so well.
She did, indeed.
Yeah,
But yeah, she's a likable actress. So I got no problem with
She
that.
got the joke.
She did indeed, yeah.
There's nothing worse than working with an actor that we call joke killers.
Oh.
And you're on the set and you're going, oh my God, they've killed every line. And
Have
then
you
you're
got
cutting
any
around
good
them.
examples of joke killers, like any actors that were notorious for it?
I won't reveal them, but there are people who are funny. There are people who are funny and raconteurs in real life, and then you get them out there, and the camera, whatever, they can't deliver the line in a proper. There's a thing about a joke. I can't explain it. And
Comedic timing.
Yeah,
timing-
delivery is super important. A lot of people were praising like Andrew Garfield's delivery of his lines in No Way Home is what made him so likable. It's not necessarily just the lines themselves. And it's like, yeah, if you watch like very human deliveries versus people who are reading the script like because they just don't know how the line was supposed to be said, it's like, yeah, you can definitely feel that. I think that's what informs chemistry a lot of the time when you're watching two characters talk as well.
I think comedians make really good dramatic actors.
Yeah, traditionally
Yeah,
they do. Traditionally, and there's a big crossover from comedy to horror as well because of timing. They understand timing, tension. It's all about building suspense.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, you could probably argue as well. Like there's that quite fine line between comedy and horror. Like you need one to relieve the tension of the other at times. It's quite often horror movies will have those little moments of levity so that it's not just really heavy and dramatic and depressing the whole time. I think if you get that balance right, you got yourself a really good fun movie.
I've done a lot of stand-up. I know horror.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess my impressions of Thor Love and Thunder, the thing that jumped out at me was that line from him where he said, I've got to find out who I really am.
I'm tired of that
That's
shit.
so-
To be honest,
He's done 3 movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's boring.
3 goddamn movies.
Even aside from the other bullshit that I'm gonna obviously take issue with, just because this is all fake at this point. But yeah, like why do we have to see yet again Thor? Oh, I gotta go find myself.
It's also not that, like, you gotta remember in universe, he's been alive for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So why is he now just finding himself in the last, like,
Oh, dude,
10
there's
years?
so much.
Like, what?
There's so much wrong with it because like they clearly, I don't know if it's a matter of it because it's passing through different writers or if because they just genuinely don't know what to do with him. But the fact that he was like pretty static-ish after his first film up until Ragnarok, where he's just like almost a completely different person, almost.
It's like a brain aneurysm or something.
And then like you get Ragnarok kind of ignores a little bit, giving him the moments of realizing like what it means to have lost his entire civilization, most of his people, his father, his brother. Infinity War is the one that says like, "I will do that," and he has like much muted, much more darker colors, and he's like on a revenge tour to kill Thanos. You're like, okay, I'm seeing the through line now. All right, where are we going with this? Like, he's fat now. You're like, oh,
I have a theory.
I will never fucking get over that, man.
Nah,
well,
can't
so
forgive that shit.
the point I'm making is like, if you take up the mantle of Thor's character arc after the Russos shat all over it, you're like,
This is, you could draw a general story arc for him up until that point of he needs to learn all of the traits that are going to prepare him for being ruler of Asgard. He first needed to learn humility because he was arrogant and he was untested, and so he learns that. Then he needs to let go of his family attachments, like he loses his mother, and he loses Loki ultimately. those things teach him that he can't necessarily rely on the family ties that have sustained him throughout most of his life. Then he loses a lot of his civilization. That gets destroyed as well. And all of those things should be enough to really jolt him into action and say, like, you've now suffered, you've been through adversity, you've learned humility, you've even lost your father. He's the ruler of Asgard who was there before you is now gone as well. Now it's your time to step up and take on this role that you've been preparing for your whole life. Everything
that's for Valkyrie
brought you to this.
Yeah, they just
and
gave
what
it
is he doing with it?
Valkyrie.
Now he's just like, I don't want to do it. Like, Valkyrie, you can be king now. I'm just gonna leave and find myself
like,
again. Fucking what self-indulgent bullshit is this?
My theory is, and I've watched a whole bunch of stuff lately, everything's being turned into Friends, an episode of Friends.
Yeah.
If you think about it and you let the movie resonate, you're going, oh my God, it's Friends. Everyone's yammering to each other. People are shooting off funny gags that should not be gagging on anything. Why is everyone having a joke? Like, what? Where'd this all come from?
The MCU has always done this, but like Ragnarok really took it to the next level.
Yeah, I agree.
Like probably 60% comedy and about 40% serious stuff.
I think the ratio is like 80-20 in Ragnarok.
Yeah, maybe, actually, I'm being generous.
I think what's a shame is that everyone's using that as an excuse why this one has to be a comedy as well. It's like, look, just because 1/3 of the films that came before this now fourth entry was a comedy doesn't mean this one has to be comedy as well. And I think as well, like Taika Waititi, if you look at the trailer again, like Korg, Taika Waititi's character, is basically his buddy for the whole movie by the looks of things. So he just inserted himself into the film, which denotes a certain amount of ego, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Which is a shame as well, because if that's part of, if that's in your frontal lobe when you're writing something, then how does that, dictate the quality for the rest of the film as well? If one of the big deciders is how much of the film I can put myself in as well, which I think is a big shit.
I think, to go back to the point you made there about, like, one of these movies was basically a comedy. And so that was the successful one. And so the mindset is simply, we're just going to keep doing the same shit again, because that is the thing that makes us the most money. And this isn't the time now to do another goofy comedy with Thor. Like, you need to do something else with him. Or, my preference would be just don't do anything with him, really, and move it along to something else. But they obviously will, because Hemsworth's available and there's money to be made, so they'll keep doing it. But yeah, his role, I think, in this film is just going to be to realize that he's not worthy enough to be Thor and to wield the hammer, and he's going to pass it off to Jane Foster, little Natalie person.
I feel like it's really likely that he'll be uncomfortable with her doing it at first, and then by the end of the film, he'll be like, you know what, you deserve it more than I do. And it's going to be like,
again, that would be par for the course for what they did with that character going into 2014, 2015 when they wrote that shit. And to be fair, I think that's going to happen, because that's, again, what they're doing with the rest of this universe. You got to understand, like, for those that haven't been keeping up with this shit, of course that would make more sense that they would go forward with her being Thor, considering that, look at the other characters that they're introducing. It's the same shit from all different Marvel. We got Kamala Khan, she's on the way. Ironheart is getting her own show. Nobody asked for that shit. Who else is America Chavez is apparently supposed to have a more prominent role in
absolutely no one asked for Ms. Marvel. Christ.
Yeah, like, so
no one asked
not even Muslims asked for Ms. Marvel, quite frankly. no one wants Ms. Marvel.
What I'm saying. Like, no, these are characters nobody asked for, but all of them for the most part were developed, or like they really had a hard push for them at the same time. Like, it was Jane Foster, it was Kamala Khan, and a couple of years after that it was what's her name, fucking Riri Williams. We saw what they tried to do with Kate Bishop. I know she was introduced a little before, but it was around that era when they really tried to, like, with West Coast Avengers and all that, they were really trying to push this character. So that's the era that we're basically about to. If you want to know what the fuck's about to happen, and as weird as this shit is, I wouldn't advise going to read that dog shit, but you can pick up on a lot of what they're going to do based upon that all new, all different era of Marvel, and it was terrible. DC seemed to want to do the same exact thing. They're like, hey, that was one of the most terrible kind of runs that we've ever had in comics. We should do that too.
Stuff with Bond as well.
Yeah, and
why are they adapting something that literally failed them?
I wish I had an answer for that.
Because I was going to ask about this. Yeah, like I'm not an expert in the comic industry by any stretch, but I do know that like that era where they started to bring in like basically we're just going to swap out all these classic characters and replace them with a character that's female or black or whatever it is to hit some quota. That's the point where comic books just absolutely fell off a cliff. People lost interest. Why would you think, okay, this is the thing that like destroyed the industry, we're absolutely going to port this into our movie universe? I'm sure it'll do really well.
I'll say this. It's the movies are the one place, at least from what I've picked up, where as flaky as that audience is, if they are going to catch lightning in the bottle to where people won't reject it, that's where it is. I think a big test run with that was like with the Spider-Verse shit. Though, to be fair, I was looking at the numbers the other day. In comparison to other Spider-Man films, that was actually pretty fucking terrible, which I didn't know that until I actually looked certainly into it. But Miles Morales is a character that nobody really asked for, nobody liked, and his sales are never indicative of that. But they seem to see a little success with the Spider-Verse movie. So they're looking at it like, okay, well, it was dead on arrival there. Maybe we can make it happen in the movie and maybe have it more adopted in our shows or something of that nature. I just think it's such a shit time because at this point, a lot of people are more we see what's going on with Disney. So a lot of people are more privy to what the fuck's going on. So they're more likely to reject it. And we've already seen going this direction, giving people stuff that they didn't ask for the name of checking a box. You know, Marvel's laid a couple of duds here lately with, you know, fucking Eternals and
Black Widow, Shang-Chi.
Black Widow and
Black Widow and
I think
Shang-Chi
barely made money.
I think they both actually just broke even. I don't think they made any money at all.
Yeah.
So
that's
apart from No Way Home, the Phase 4 has been a bunch of flops so far.
There's definitely that vibe from people. Like, obviously, you know, if you make a video on something, you read the comments. There is the vibe generally coming in from people. I get comments all the time going, you know, who else was done after Endgame? Just me? Is it, you know, I'm dipping into this one, but I'm not that interested in it all. You know,
dude, I think it's been an absolute disaster for everything Marvel's put out. Even Moon Knight, that's fallen apart.
Yeah, and I liked it to begin with.
I thought episode 1 was pretty cool.
I thought
it's fine.
I thought Shang-Chi could have worked if they made the final scene real-ish Hong Kong Kung Fu style, like they had the first fight scene was absolutely brilliant. And why didn't they just do more of that at the end? I would have been fine. Then it would have been classic Kung Fu movie. But then it was this giant CGI thing, which was just absolutely dreadful.
It was your typical, we have to make it huge and there has to be a portal with like evil things flying through it.
Why?
More little things and then a bigger thing. It's the Avengers all over again.
The hero has to do a special move thing that's going to involve a shit ton of CGI and then blow up the bad thing and then close the portal and just this fucking Marvel formula again. Hate it.
I think the movie would have done over and over again. Stuck to it as being a Hong Kong style kung fu movie.
Yeah, you see that fight that he had was it Death Dealer that he fights?
Oh, that's like the best fight in the movie.
That was the best. Yeah, it was great. It was two people. Obviously, you could fight really well. It was done in fairly long takes. It was just good fun to watch.
The way they killed Death Dealer in that movie was so shit. You just got like a random little imp thing, grabbed him and killed him. It was like, oh, okay.
I cannot remember that film anymore.
You should.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, like
they are very forgettable films. Massively.
That's another
forgettable
topic.
films.
I'm finding I can't rewatch films, the new films. I don't know why.
I can rewatch some. Very rare do I rewatch a film nowadays, though. But there are some which I rewatch.
I can rewatch.
I had to write down in a notebook that I'd watched Venom 1 and 2 because I keep forgetting what they are and that they even exist.
I had that problem with Thor 2 back in the day. I could never remember its plot, no matter how many times I watched it.
Thor?
Yeah, Dark World.
Yeah,
it's an amazing phenomenon. Most people can't remember the plot of that film because like It's dark elves, I think.
Christopher Eccleston as an elf. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, that's about it.
His mum dies in it. That's
That happens at some point. Yeah,
I've seen The Matrix 30
you see her
times.
moments, and then that's all you got.
Yep.
Seen The
So
Matrix
Eric-
30 times is a good choice.
Again.
Eric, why didn't they go with the female Thor from '78?
Oh, like the what if?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that was more tolerable, but it made sense for that context because it was like, back then they were doing those what ifs in the way of, there was a specific plot, it went a different way, and this is what would have happened if it went that way. I've never been the biggest fan of like multiverses and alternative like realities and stuff like that, but those being contained to that always made sense. But again, it was that I don't know what the hell happened in that era because both companies kind of attempted to do it, but like 2014 was like a year where they were like, look, fuck everything that made our company successful. Let's scrap it and let's change everything. And I don't know if it was like, well, the shock value will get people more interested, but I just remember how so terribly bad those books were, and just people dreading going to the comic book shop on Wednesdays, and then they're like adopting it. But it did feel, because you gotta understand, that's right in the heart of as the Marvel Cinematic Universe was taking off. So it felt like a lot of these people were writing stuff with the idea that it may get adapted. And instead of just writing a good book. I can't remember what's his name that is writing he wrote the Hickman, John Hickman. He was writing some X-Men stuff, but I remember him talking about this. He was like, my stuff gets adapted, awesome, but I'm not writing to have that happen. I think 99% of the writers are like, no, that's why I'm doing it. So this is why everything is a social statement now, right? If you notice, like everything is what's going to be the new headline on CBR. Oh, here's Robin's gay out of nowhere. Fucking here's gay Superman, and here's gay Vixen, and here's all these, like they're doing it for headlines with the idea that, okay, this will initially be at some point be adapted. And I mean,
to making a gay black Aqualad.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a gay Superdog.
Hey, look, there's some furry raging on Twitter that's not been adapted yet. All right, it's gonna happen.
There's always one.
But yeah, there is.
Isn't there? Are they implying that Thor's gay now with his loving?
There does seem to be. But the thing which annoyed me about that dynamic is they've switched it, because it was actually Star-Lord in the last one. Star-Lord was really envious of Thor, and now they've switched it round that Thor is somehow now envious of Star-Lord. Why? Because you remember that was the dynamic before. It was Star-Lord was hugely envious of Thor because everyone was crowding around him. He's big, he's buff, he's this, he's that. And now they're like, oh yeah, no. Now Thor's...
That scene in the trailer could very well be like years after Endgame at this point. I have no idea. I feel like they're going to montage him hanging out with Guardians, losing weight, and then they leave, and that's it for them. By the way, like they're kind of. But why, I like them still.
The dynamic so much? Why have they flipped the dynamic? Is like, have they forgotten what they wrote in the last film?
You know what this is? This is like a better budget version of the Resident Evil movies, where each one fucking undoes everything that happens.
Yeah, right.
It's
this is the point that I had been making for a while. I'm like, even in I might come from the comic book space, but even in the context of a lot of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing right now, in the context of the MCU, a lot of the continuity, they've like just said, fuck it. I'm still trying to see how they're gonna patch. Well, I'm not interested in this shit because I'm not watching it anymore. But to like, I can understand why someone would be like, how are they still going to patch up? Like, why was this character gone for this long? And in some cases, it feels like they're just going to be like, fuck it, who cares? Like
well, that is what they're like. One of the Russos came out and said, yeah, no, they don't have a plan. We don't have a plan. We make a film and then we decide from there. So there is no plan. So they are literally making it up as they go along. So this whole thing of Feige having this grand master plan, that's all been bollocks.
Bullshit.
I think
it's not even the whole multiverse thing. It's not even clear which movie starts it. It's like it's mentioned in Doctor Strange as being a thing. Then Loki is like, we've unlocked the multiverse now. And then No Way Home was like, we've essentially tapped into the already existing multiverse. Like, who the fuck?
Morley, you're wrong. Morley, you're wrong. If you need to listen, okay, to the Morbius director, because apparently Sony did it. They invented it. They did it. You need to listen to him. All right. God.
Don't
That
underestimate the pressure of the executives.
It's a
That
very
post
easy
credit
to follow.
this was
thing.
fucking baffling. That was
That's like ADR and a reshoot and a green screen.
Oh man,
My
that's like
God.
pretend that there's a blip or something and the multiverse happens, and now this.
I hope
in a
things
different
better in this
direction.
joint. Fucking oh God, I
Fucking
hated it so
ridiculous.
much.
If
Hated
you
that
go
film.
even as far back
Hated it.
to The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and you kids are way too young to remember it, but the first 2 seasons were really hardcore, cool spy stuff. The 3rd season, Batman on ABC, became a huge hit, wacky hit, and the 3rd season of Man from U.N.C.L.E. suddenly turned into Batman. Wacky.
But that is what they do, though, isn't it? They all try to copy one another. It's the next.
But that's
they are
an
trying to latch on to what is
executive,
popular
a
each
network
time.
executive made that call and told the producers, "This is what you're doing." So after Ragnarok was a hit, I'm absolutely certain it's the studio that's going, "You're making another Ragnarok. I don't give a fuck." Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can get that. Like
I've experienced it.
Well, I was going to say, like, I've talked to the people, like some of the people who are working very closely on Ms. Marvel, and
Poor souls.
yeah, and I'm not going to name
Poor
names, or
soul.
anything, but they've said, like, this is what happens. Like, the Marvel steps in and say, like, they wanted to say, right, we're going to give Kamala Khan like character conflict. She's going to be really conflicted about being a Muslim and the problems that causes for her. Issues about her fighting or using her powers or whatever it might be. Like, it's something that she wrestles with as a character flaw or a character conflict. Marvel step in and say, no, we don't want to do that because we don't want to like put out negative messages about that. And so that's just barely going to be mentioned. And so they're trying to say to them, well, what do we have to work with then? What is this character? What makes her interesting? There's nothing. We've got nothing to work with here.
Yeah, but even her being a Muslim's not
That they
interesting.
wrestle with all the time.
Yeah, that's terrible. Anyway, I mean, look, there to me, and I'd say this as a person who's been writing, like, I mean, for forever. It's just with Marvel, we are entering into this bizarre era of, okay, though they built their backing was not, like, they were not rooted in whatever the fuck it is that they're trying to do right now. Like, this MCU didn't develop in the way that it did to where people
Iron Man.
It was not this. It wasn't this social justice bullshit. It wasn't any of that in terms of what they cared about. However, that was the direction that I think a lot of these guys believe that the country or even the West rather was moving in. So that was stuff that they wanted to adopt and adapt. And I mean, and then you tie in where Disney is standing and where they're putting it, like, this is just what it is that they prioritize so much. But it's so, it discredits the characters right from the get-go. On Tuesday night's main event, we had a Muslim that was on there, and she was like, of course, Kamala Khan showing, they had to show it's a Muslim character, so they got to show him praying, right? And it's so predictable. It's like it's basically a big-ass stereotype, essentially, and it shows that they don't know how to actually write interesting fucking characters that are really, and I've said this many times, straight white characters are the only characters that don't have a social ill, that particularly the male ones that don't have a social ill that they have to fall back on. So sometimes they're going to be good, sometimes they're going to be bad, but at least they have to operate upon pure creativity. Unfortunately, with these other characters, it's a crutch. So, you get a female character, we have to have that arc where she's struggling with her femininity or struggling being a woman or some shit like that. You get a black character, of course, they have to have some sort of racial connotation to what it is they're doing. Here we have a Muslim character. Of course, it has to be something about them being Muslim. It's never that they're starting off with character. Let's make them interesting. Let's make them likable across whatever demographic.
And you notice that the bad guys never attack during those 5 times a day that they got to pray.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. They wouldn't want to do that. We
don't
want to interrupt that.
No.
But the thing is about characters now, anyway, as well, is that they start off with something which they start off with that checkbox. Whereas previously in the 80s, the 70s, it would be like, right, let's write a good character. Their gender was actually irrelevant to the characterization that they were establishing. Completely irrelevant. In fact, there was no relevance behind their gender, their sexuality, anything along those lines. They just wrote characters, interesting stories, and then you can then cast around it, or such and such forth, and choose which genders you want. Unless there was obviously very, very specifically some were there, but there are a lot of films where they didn't write a specific gender in terms of the characters that they were actually writing for, and there was no specific sort of archetypes that they were looking to establish either. And writing that someone's a Muslim, I mean, that's not a character trait. I don't give a fuck if you pray to. It doesn't matter. Like, who cares? If you're black, that's not a character trait. If that's the substantive nature of your entire being, then I feel very sorry for you. That's pathetic.
But that's all they know how to write. I mean, like, you think about, like, definitely in this last years, like when you get these comic book characters that they're depicting, like, that's all they ever focused on. Like, I see a black character, I'm like, I already know what the hell direction that they're going in. Here's the predictable arc of them struggling with more racism or some other shit. Like, the black person just can't be a goddamn lawyer or something like that. He just can't exist. And have other things interesting about him.
Don't you know, Ripper? Don't you know if you're black and you're a lawyer, you're apparently an Uncle Tom?
That's true. That's very true.
You can't be a lawyer, all right?
You hate yourself.
Exactly. You're too Westy. You just suppress colonialism or some crap.
On that, by the way, you said it's the only thing they can write. It's like, I don't even think they're good at achieving their own goals. Like, I think there are people out there who do their goals way better. Like,
I agree.
And of course, I know you guys won't disagree with this, but when you look at their histories for writing credits, you're like, oh my God, how the hell have you got a $200 million project? How is this happening?
There's a lot like that recently. Like, when I do a report on a new film that's coming out, and I'm like, oh, look at this. This is like a big IP. And I'm like, sorry, who the hell is this? They've written nothing before.
Well, it was
upwards too. They fell in love. Let's see what happened with the Batwoman woman. Like, everybody know that show's dead as fuck, but they got rewarded with what they got Gotham Knights and shit coming out. Like, so they're filling fucking upwards, man. Like, and they got multiple seasons, which I don't see how they were able to do that. But yeah, you're filling upwards these days, and I think a lot of it has to do with the box checking. Definitely now, these guys, we might not care a lot about it, but I'm sure a lot of these guys care about what awards and shit that they're gonna grab. In the event that they depict this, and now all award systems are tied to, well, you got to have X amount of representation of this gender, and this, like, nothing's of merit anymore. So
look at the Eternals. It was like Chloe Zhao that directed that. Someone who did Nomadland, right? A movie with no discernible plot, which is just the main character going through a bunch of landscapes. That's all it is. Just a bunch of landscape shots and her just talking to the occasional person. There's no skill involved in that would make you think, right, this person can absolutely direct a $200 million superhero CGI heavy blockbuster movie. But they wanted her because, one, she's a woman, two, she's a racial minority, and three, she'd won an Oscar. And so they can say, hey, we're elevating all these different voices that are underrepresented in cinema. It doesn't work though if you just pick a random person that's got no fucking relevant skills for doing a film like this.
Yeah.
And look at the result. It's just the most bland, uninteresting, generic-looking movie that you can imagine, and it falls right into that category that we talked about before, where I can barely even remember what fucking happened in that film. Like 5 minutes after watching it.
Yeah, but the tragedy is that people say, we sit here and say all of this stuff, and people in the audience will sit there and say all of this stuff, but then they don't go to watch the films which are released in the theaters, which are good. Which can sort of counter-program that narrative. Because there's a few which are out there which deserve people's, audience and viewing. Yep. The Northman being one of them. I'll sing that film's praises. That film's fucking exceptionally good.
I'm looking forward to seeing that, actually. I've not seen it yet.
Very good.
Is it definitely worth watching?
It's a beautiful film. It's Robert Eggers slightly commercial, I guess. But it's very, very good. And I say slightly commercial just because, obviously, The Lighthouse and things like that. Very, very out there. So imagine that a little bit more streamlined with a massive budget. Huge budget. Very, very good film. Beautiful cinematography. And, not afraid to just embrace the whole sort of Scandi Norse mythology behind stuff. The bloody people getting high and pretending that they're wolves going in and just slaughtering people left, right, and center.
I like Taylor Joy.
Yeah, she's good in it as well. She's very good.
She's a good actress. I do like her.
She is a good actress, and she's got the royal jelly, as I've been talking in other trying to explain to people what the royal jelly is.
What is it?
Just that special quality that once they hit the screen, you go, wow, they're captivating.
Yeah.
You know, Katharine Hepburn, you know, name any person. It's one of the things that seems to be missing from Hollywood is just that phenomenal capability to capture the screen. And some of that is cinematography. They're not doing the same kind of cinematography as they did. The directors are not making sure that the stars are treated like stars.
Well, I've talked about this not that long ago. I talked about the death of the movie star, and it kind of feels like that's what we've got right now. There's, you know, jump back 20, 30 years, there would be stars that you would just be excited to see them in a film. You know, there's a new Tom Cruise movie, there's a new Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, whatever. You know, they had that kind of force of personality that they became box office draws, and you were excited to see them in films. And I don't feel like we really have anyone like that now. No. Tom Cruise is probably the last, and fucking hell, he's pretty old now.
It's mainly directors now that get me excited for a film.
Jennifer Lawrence has that quality.
Jennifer Lawrence?
I think so. I think she has that ability to light up a screen.
Yeah, but she's not. Yeah, she can light up a screen, like charisma and stuff. Sometimes charisma, but not someone that is going to draw. She's not a draw. There's no draw. I think that's what Drink is saying, is that there's no draws anymore. No. There's not someone that you see on a big billboard and you go, need to see that film. That's the person I need to see. Don't care about the plot. I want to see that person in the film. Right. There's not that anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's all the superhero movies that have done this, whereas now it's like you're excited about the character. Like, oh shit, there's another Captain America movie or whatever it might be. You know, I want to see that. I don't care about the actors. I don't care about the stars of it. It's the characters that we're interested in.
Was it Anthony Mackie who said that as well in an interview? He said that like this could be another explanation for why some people are trying to grab into these superhero properties. They want to grab up the popular character before it's gone.
Interesting. It's a real estate issue.
Yeah.
Grab that piece of real estate. Interesting. I know Star Wars essentially started this because they elevated the B movie to an A movie.
Yeah.
But then I certainly have no problem with that. Like, because when it's done well, you know, you have definitely source of material and things that are referenced, and you know, you have a general expectation of who this character is supposed to be. We do this every time we see a Batman that comes up. We critical of it from the damn suit to the Batmobile or whatever it is, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And I welcome that. My only issue is that, hell, actually the opposite. When I see folks that don't give a shit about the character, and it's like, I want to just be me. And yeah, sure, I'll be this character in name, or I'll be this character in, you know, maybe in the suit. But at the end of the day, it's about me and what it is that certainly I want. Rarely do we see, definitely these days, where we get like what we saw with Judge Dredd, where you get Urban, who was just like, I'm just gonna be the character. Hell, I'm not even gonna show you my face. And it comes out like crazy good, because you know that's what we expect from that character. Whereas to these days, I think a lot of these guys still have influence on who that character is, because then the character must be molded to suit whatever this weird, you know, actress or actress is.
So do you think Pattinson was playing Pattinson?
I haven't seen that. You couldn't pay me to watch Batman. Or if you did, it had to be a whole hell of a lot of money.
I was gonna say, what about like $1 billion?
It had to be up there for sure. But nah, like I made my vow after fucking what was that, Black Widow? I was like, I'm fucking done with these damn movies. Like,
dude, you watched
Joker
that? You don't get
good.
to see Batman.
Yeah, I went back. I bought Black Widow. I said I'm done. That was my last one. Like, I'm like, fuck,
that makes a lot of sense.
They're not making shit for me. Like, I'm not interested. So I'm just gonna write my own shit and laugh at them when they do goofy shit. But I'm not doing those like long. I used to do those long form reviews and shit. Like, I'm done. They're not making this shit with me and mine. Because I get it, man. Now these comic book movies have taken a mind of their own. You know what I mean? And they're their own kind of thing now, and you got a lot of people who are just into like the idea of a character or the idea of a superhero movie. Well, my approach was always, look, man, I'm not expecting a one-by-one adaptation from what happened to the comic book in the comic books to what happened in the to what happens in the movie, but I at least expect some sort of sense of like, okay, this is who this character is supposed to be. Not going to see Captain Marvel, seeing Marvel be a woman that ain't Marvel, and me wanting to then throw my chicken strips at the goddamn screen because like, what the fuck is this? Like, so once I realized that, I had to come to that realization that they're not making them with these movies aren't made with me in mind. So I bet they just won't be getting my fucking viewership anymore. And I just make fun of them when they do good stuff. And it seems that I picked the right time to do it for sure, because they've been laying a lot of fucking eggs. Lately.
I think you got the best of it, before you bailed out.
Yeah.
It did make me think, like, back in that era of like phase 1 and 2 of Marvel, if you were a big comic book fan, to see characters like Iron Man and
the coolest thing in the world, man. I was 18 when that 19 when that movie came out. It was the coolest fucking time to be a comic book guy, because you now saw that companies were willing to really invest again in this type of stuff and to make these characters come to life, which is definitely with the technology and how that caught. It was like the coolest thing ever when that happened. Like, I cannot say that enough. It was an awesome time to be a comic book guy, to see that stuff be adapted. But then it took a fucking turn, man. And yeah, here we are.
But you could tell in that first Iron Man movie that the studios didn't fully trust it. The budget wasn't really quite there. You could tell that they were kind of
I don't know,
on the fence.
Well, the budgets weren't that big back then anyway.
It was I'm not sure if you guys know, but it was a bit of a nightmare production, that film. There's loads of things that went wrong, but it's the passion behind it that made it come together in the end. And the Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. were like believing in it. They were like, this is going to work. We're going to make this work.
Yeah,
and I always say it, but Iron Man's never looked better than in that movie.
Oh,
yep.
If I can make a pitch, one superhero no one cares about is Mr. Canoehead, Canada's aluminum-headed crime fighter. This is actually one of the characters from our comedy troupe, The Frantics, and I actually played Mr. Canoehead. Mr. Canoehead, Canada's aluminum-headed crime fighter. Taste Gunnel's bad guy. Anyway. I'm trying to make sure that right now I'm pitching the Mr. Canoehead superhero.
I respect it.
Marvel Universe movie.
I say go with it. If we got Squirrel Girl and stuff, like Canoehead's.
He can get as ridiculous as you can. Why not? I'm all for it.
We love Mr. Canoehead because every single superhero has to have a failing. And of course, he's got a 12-foot canoe on his head. And our big joke was that he was an insurance adjuster, and he'd be in his cubicle kind of bashing against the cubicle. And then when he could hear with his super hearing, because his canoe was like a parabola, he would stand up, and everyone thought that he was Ward, the insurance adjuster. But then when he took his glasses off from under the canoe, they'd go, "Oh my God, it's Mr. Canoehead."
I like it.
Is his great weakness getting a hole put in the canoe, and he's got to use like epoxy resin or something.
Well, he did tell people to make sure you use the J-stroke in bed.
There you go. Rippa, I was going to ask you, like, I've talked about this before, and I think probably a lot of people are of the same opinion that by the time the MCU got to Endgame, we were kind of done with it. It felt like the story had just reached its end, and anything beyond that was just a little bit pointless.
Yeah.
And after, 20 years of superhero movies, have we just reached that point where people are just getting bored of it now?
I mean, a lot of people in our space have talked about this. Like, what it is it's like superhero like fatigue, right? Is what they call it. And like, I don't think so, but I will say this: Marvel has enough properties to where if they wanted to do something that was different, it doesn't have to be your traditional superhero, what people deem as a superhero movie. People keep fucking forgetting, like a movie like Blade doesn't look like Marvel movies now, but you know, was that 1999, one of my favorite fucking movies of all time, but that's a Marvel character, right?
Yeah.
And you know, they have mountains upon mountains of different characters that, yeah, they don't exist certainly in the traditional sense, but what you think of, like, you know, the Avengers or the Justice League or what it is that they do, but they serve their place. They have other genres for sure. I would be more intrigued for them to entertain that as opposed to trying to rehash the same thing that they did before. To me, that was the cool thing, at least for me in the comic books, was the cool thing about the comic books, that all these guys had these different walks of life. You know what I mean? And that, yeah, you had those guys that were really on the surface. They were known by the public and all that. And then you had guys that were just doing their own kind of thing underground. And it you know, it wasn't on the surface, but it was technically its own genre. Like for a while there, you had like, for a while there, for example, DC had, for people that may remember, they had like Justice League Dark, and they had like Justice League, like regular Justice League, and they also had Justice League Odyssey. Well, all three of those are fairly different, right? You had one that was more space oriented, one that was what you get at the traditional Justice League, and then one it was really entertaining, like magical elements and stuff like that. I think they should do that. You know, you have the Daredevils of the world; they're a lot different from Thor, so do that as opposed to just trying to rehash the same thing. But that will require them to have some sort of creativity, at minimum creative freedom, for people to be able to be like, all right, that's a character that I'm going to try to adapt. It may be a little out of left field, but I'm going to try to adapt that. And, you know, we talked about executives. Is this something that they actually want to do? I don't know. And then, to be fair, I wouldn't trust them to do it now anyway. You know what I mean? Considering what all they're obsessed with now, maybe they should not adapt this shit because it's going to be terrible. So I'm not certainly fatigued of it all. Only thing I'm fatigued of is dog shit, more than anything. So if they could just not
Agreed.
make dog shit, I'm fine with that. I get, you know, do it for another 20 years. I'm fine with that. But yeah, mix it up. I empathize with the idea of there being more variation for sure.
I would love to see more R-rated stuff, because
100%. I made a video years ago about that specific point. Even like I know Joker wasn't actually like a Joker film per se, but it showed that there's a certainly an avenue for that. Blade, of course, showed that obviously back in the gap too. Logan, absolutely. I would 100% love to see more of those, and it's actually surprised that neither one of those certainly did that. Hell, if DC was smart enough, instead of trying to rehash what the Marvel Cinematic Universe was doing, they would have done that. They have all the characters to do it. They could have made a more mature a universe, like more akin to what they done with their like what Black Label type of shit, as opposed to just, we're just going to try to repeat what the Marvel Cinematic Universe did and rush and force kind of the Justice League. They missed an opportunity there, but I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, this is the problem, because I dread them doing Blade, because
they're gonna fuck that up.
In this fucking Marvel family-friendly mode, it's gonna be garbage.
Haven't they already confirmed that they're not gonna do rated R films, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, well, Blade's not rated R.
Yeah, so it's dead on arrival.
Diana Ross.
So Deadpool and Blade are gonna be great then.
It's dead on arrival if they're not gonna rate PG-13. Blade doesn't deserve to exist.
Disney said that they're not going to do a Deadpool.
I thought they were. I thought he was getting introduced, or is that not happening?
Apparently Deadpool is still a go. Apparently that is a go. Yeah. Allegedly.
It's too much for them.
Yeah,
unless it's actually greenlit and they're filming, I wouldn't believe shit anyway.
DC, that could have been their in. It's like, we're gonna
easy. That was a layup, man. That was a layup, and they didn't take it.
It's a great idea, Eric.
Because the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, that was a good film. Like, relatively, it was fun, it was violent, there was swearing, it was great. Like, Peacemaker kind of continued that trend. It showed you what could be done with it.
And they have like the darker characters to do that type of shit with. They just neglected to do it. I think it was, I don't know, maybe they just wanted to. DC has a bad habit of repeating the same fucking mistakes that Marvel does. Like I said, with the all new, all different, they came out with like what was that recent shit that they did where it was the same thing. You had like non-binary Flash and shit. They all knew all different. Everybody for the most part agrees that was dog shit. And then they said, why don't we go do that? So DC, I don't know if that's going to change with this whole Discovery shit. They're talking about basically upending everything over there. Maybe it does, but they had a free layup with that. It was like, okay, y'all want to do the more, family oriented stuff. You don't want to be too edgy. Fine. DC could have said, we're going to do some raw shit. And that could have been their ticket. And they didn't take it.
DC's a mess.
Future State. Yeah, someone in the chat brought up his Future State. That was the name of it.
Yeah, DC on film is a mess. This is the problem. You had the Snyderverse, which was aborted. You've got these weird standalone movies like Joker and the Batman. Like none of them are connected to each other, but those are the ones that have actually been successful. Wonder Woman did well, but then the sequel was fucking bomb. I spoke to people that were working on Batgirl, and they were basically saying like, well, how does our movie fit into the bigger DCEU? And what they were told was, don't think about it too much. Just make that's the fucking mentality behind this. It's like,
got a clue.
And it's such a frustrating thing because DC have got some of the best characters.
100%.
You've got Batman at your disposal. You've got Superman at your disposal. These are the most iconic comic book characters of all time.
Yeah.
How can you fuck this up?
You have to go out of your way to fuck it up. That's what happens.
Open goal, man. Just like, how hard is it?
They don't know what to do. They still don't know what to do. And I guess, like, because I don't know if DC or what is it, Warner Discovery is gonna scrap this Superman Ta-Nehisi Coates shit. But that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like, who the fuck asked Ta-Nehisi Coates for him to do a Superman? Like, a political commentator which had no evidence that he was ever into comic book stuff. The first thing that he did, hell, Marvel helped him at first. That's kind of how he got introduced to this shit. And he produced that dog shit. He produced that dog shit. He was that Captain America where he wrote fucking what's the name? Jordan B. Peterson basically as Red Skull.
Yeah.
And then he wrote that terrible intergalactic Wakanda bullshit with Black. But this guy has no idea what he's doing. But they think, let's bring that fucking guy on to Marvel hired him to write some books. Why don't we have him do a Superman movie? Like,
what the fail up, man. That's what it is. These people just keep failing up.
It's fascinating. It's like, it used to be government was the only place you could do that shit, and now you can certainly do that in the comic book film industry and show industry where you can literally fail upwards. You could produce something that people have rejected, and they'll say, "Hey, Kelly Thompson, you can now write Black Widow." Sure, you produced that fucking crap Captain Marvel book, but here's Black Widow and Deadpool because you fell up. I'm like, what dirt do they have on these fucking people, man?
It's not that either. Like,
hire some of these people to not do anything at all. They're just there to be in the name and who they are. Because the Black Widow one, that was like the second person they went to, right? Because the first one wanted to make her own movie or at least have an input in it, and they were like, "Nah, you do it the way we want you to," which has happened so many fucking times with Marvel.
Well, they're the ultimate conveyor belt, aren't they, of entertainment?
Yeah.
The core
DC
idea of
is
Black Widow
screwed
was
now
good.
anyway.
The bad guy was horrible.
Working for Marvel, it would be like they invite you to work for fucking McDonald's, and you've got all these ideas about how you're going to make different burgers, and like, nah, you make the Big Mac and you make the fucking chicken sandwich and stuff, and that's it. That's what you've got with Marvel. They've got their formula locked in. You produce things to spec, and probably if you're a director, you're only going to direct like 30% of the movie anyway, because you'll have someone else who's going to come in and do all the action scenes for you. It's the death of creativity at the moment is Marvel, and DC should be the alternative to that. It should be different. It should be interesting. And they just can't figure out what to do with their fucking great cast of characters. Like they must have the dumbest fuckers on the planet working there.
Well, even dumber now. They've pegged everything on bloody Ezra Miller and Amber Turd.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got bloody Ezra Miller, serial woman abuser, running around beating the crap out of people on bloody Hawaiian Island.
But no, Mr. H, you're fucking wrong. He just wanted to hand people chairs, and he just keeps doing it at high velocity. What can I say?
To people's foreheads. You know? Of all,
I think
can't
he's
believe that.
begging to be fired, but doesn't want to say it. I think that's a cry for help.
He got some mental problems. That's for fucking sure. That guy's been wreaking fucking havoc on Hawaii, man. And 3 weeks, that's impressive.
He's had the police call on him like 12 times.
That's impressive, someone in their I'm more impressed in how the fuck he's getting out, because this motherfucker, he snatches some chick off from fucking doing karaoke and then went and go try to whoop up on a dart player, which I don't know what the hell he had to do with anything. Yeah. And then, after that, he's beating people over the head with chairs or throwing it at them. And then he gets out like that. They said he got arrested like at 1:30 and was out by 4.
Got out at 4. And then he was in court on video call.
I was like,
previous
what?
Arrest.
Like, man, I rolled through a stop sign and went to jail and had to pay fucking more than that. Like, so
he literally can't write this stuff. It's unbelievable,
man.
It's impressive, man. Like, whatever he.
Well, the cops stop him and they go, "How many check boxes do you check?" Oh God, we can't arrest him.
Yeah. Well, it's just a theory. He has a lot to do on people.
He has to. He absolutely has to, because there's any other even other actors, I feel like, man, getting that much trouble and he just still doing his fucking thing. That's impressive.
Well, intersectionality is the new religion, right? I mean, a long time ago, you could be stopped for murder, and then the cops stop you, and the guy goes, "No, I've seen Jesus. I recommend Jesus as my savior." And they go, "Damn, got him. Didn't get him in time."
I think what's
damn, we got to let him go because he's accepted Jesus into his life. Damn.
There's literally videos of him doing these things. There's literally a video of him choke slamming a woman out in Iceland. He's been arrested. He's been charged. He had to pay bail. He's been in court. And then you got the likes of Johnny Depp just goes, someone's accused him. Right off these. Yeah, we're gonna buy you out for your millions of dollars. That's it. Someone's accused you. That's it. We can't have this. But
I don't appreciate these allegations. The Flash was clearly battling crime in Hawaii.
Clearly.
Why is suggesting anything else?
Isn't it funny though that Johnny Depp got punted out of Fantastic Beasts and Ezra Miller got put in to replace him, and the film absolutely fucking flopped?
I don't think Ezra Miller replaced him. It was Mads Mikkelsen, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, no, but sorry, like he's like Ezra Miller's in it, isn't he? He's in like the latest.
Yeah. He's in those movies.
Not Dumbledore. He's Snape.
He's Snape.
Yeah, he's Severus Snape.
Is he? Is he?
I didn't know that. I know nothing about those movies.
If I give the slightest fuck about Harry Potter, but like never cared about it.
I think too many superhero movies and too many Harry Potter movies are being made, and it's just tiresome.
Not enough. The Northmans. Go watch The Northman. Strong recommendation.
More Northmen.
Go and watch that just for something different, because fuck me, I'm tired of superhero stuff. Like it's just it seems
drinking. We got more on the way, and we got Kenobi coming. It's gonna be great, man.
Are they going to be releasing footage of Kenobi soon? Apparently,
probably
May the 4th, isn't it? Probably that's when all that.
Yeah, because we're still looking for a big trailer, right? Like a proper one. One little bait Darth Vader.
Not where
boy, am I excited!
In the sand, jerking off to people just from a distance.
We've talked at great length about how excited we are about all these Disney shows that are coming.
Yes.
Probably all are going to be set on Tatooine as well.
Hopefully.
It's easy, isn't it? Just get some sandbags, pour them in a parking lot in California, you're fine. Sorted.
Yeah. I think they made one really good soundstage of like sand dunes and stuff, and it's like, we'll just use that over and over again. Perfect.
Well, I don't know, because they did set up some actual set pieces in the UK, because there were some people complaining that Disney were basically ruining the countryside, but I can't remember where that was or what that was for. I thought it was for Kenobi, but I could be wrong now. I think it was for a show. I need to look back into it. I remember at the time people thought it was for Kenobi, but they're just going to be using the same stages that they used for Mando, I would imagine. So I'm a bit confused by that. But yeah, it was in the paper. Locals were complaining about it. They were like, just steamrolled in the countryside, as us Brits like to do, just bitch and moan about stuff.
Hey, we should bitch and moan about Kenobi, okay? Wherever it's getting created. Old Mando, old Boba Fett. Oh, that was another great one.
Yep. And the Acolyte, we got that coming as well. Rangers of the New Republic. I think that's still a thing. Apparently, we've got the Cassian Andor show.
Woohoo!
So is the Mandalorian coming back at all, or is it since Gina left, it's dead?
So I'm sure they're planning on something. I don't know.
Yeah. They'll continue without her. Like the steamroller always keeps grinding onwards, regardless of who falls off it.
Or who they push off it.
Yeah, that's more accurate. That's for sure.
I look forward to Critical's review of Gina's cowboy movie.
What's that, Terror on the Prairie or something?
Yeah, it's not out yet, I don't think.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna say I know nothing about it, but what a fucking terrible name.
Wow, drink is so mean.
I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, that's a terrible name to give a movie.
It's like back in the Saban days of movies.
It does feel like it's evoking a different era or something. Maybe it is.
Yeah, it's you're gonna get chased across the prairies of America by a zombie or a werewolf or something. It's just...
Sounds great.
I would
by Democrat during the face.
Wrestling werewolves and power slamming them and stuff. I think she would do great at that sort of thing. I don't think that's what this is going to be, though.
No, I don't think so. Not quite.
That's your fan fiction.
Werewolves.
She should do a version of Tremors where she actually grabs the snake and the beast and pulls it down and
rips
crushes
his head
it.
off.
Yeah,
grabs the graboids.
Point of view, they're actually terrified of her and they're trying to escape from her.
She's the terror on the prairie. Did you think of that?
That's a nice spin.
See, we're making up some great movie ideas. We should pick them.
Guys, get patenting quickly.
But yeah, I know we mentioned it a little bit before, but Moon Knight is a thing which is happening at the moment. I don't know if any of you guys have been watching it at all.
No.
Yeah,
I have.
And it's funny to me because Moon Knight's my guy, man, and it's like to ever think that I will be in a spot where they would put investment in a Moon Knight show, and I just have fucking no interest in it. It just goes to show how far we fucking come.
Dude, if you have any attachment to Moon Knight, do not fucking watch that show.
Oh, I wouldn't. That's another one you couldn't pay. You had to pay me more than what you paid me to watch Batman.
I'm looking forward to Moon Knight showing up. Yeah.
He's not that much screen time, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's so much wrong with it. I don't even know where to begin. Drinker, what did you think of it?
It's frustrating as fuck, right? Because the premise of it is kind of interesting. You've got this globetrotting adventure to discover this ancient tomb and stop an evil Egyptian god from getting resurrected, and you've got cultists and this crazy split personality thing going on, and the Moon Knight that he can summon. The elements of it are good, and I think there's the basis of a really fun story there. But the way it's put together, it's like someone taking a jigsaw and instead of putting it together the correct way, they've fucking just hammered it onto the table and just splodged a bunch of super glue on top of it and hope for the best. That's what it feels like. It's totally disconnected. Very little of it makes any fucking sense. There's absolutely ludicrous moments where there's a tribunal convened of all the ancient gods.
Oh, and they just believe in.
One of them literally says, "This is a safe space, and if you feel like you've been exploited, then you can safely tell us here." I just thought, "Oh, fucking shoot me!"
It's not that they're also ancient Egyptian gods, and they just go, "Oh, so what were you doing in the desert? You're just going for a wander? Were you in the desert? Oh, no worries then, no worries. Just go back to doing your stuff. Go back to having that walk through the desert. They're gods. They know what they don't have to ask people.
Could I think beyond what? It's so
Sounds
stupid.
fucking terrible.
Anyone else feel like the art of dialogue is completely dead? I'm listening to eons old higher beings be like, "So what were you doing in the desert?" It's just like, what? Why?
Or how about I use
Ethan Hawke so wasted.
powers to just know exactly what you were doing in the desert because I can see everything because I'm a fucking god.
No,
what does being a god even mean in this show?
Exactly. Oh god. Well, literally nothing.
It sounds terrible.
One's
man.
got a Ethan Hawke
pathetic.
is criminally underused as well in that show. He's a good actor.
dude.
He's great.
But yeah, underused. And he keeps he's good in. He's actually Ethan Hawke is good in the show. He shows up Oscar Isaacs because what they did with Oscar Isaacs in this Moon. Like, I don't know anything about Moon Knight, but when they were releasing, all the publicity for this thing, they were like, "Oh, it's going to be serious. It's going to be that." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So I'm expecting a serious character study. A character.
That's what they sold it as.
The psychological impact of having multiple personalities. I'm like, this could be really good. And then they just play it for goofs, and I'm like, this is shit. Like, in terms of that, like, I had real high expectations that it was going to, because that was everything that they kept saying it would be. Very serious. It was going to be a character study. It was going to be that. I was drawn to the character because of these multiple personalities and exploring that. And I'm like, failed it.
Well, dude,
His friends.
I still feel like Oscar Isaac is putting all the effort in. It's just the material's rubbish. Like, you can see there's so many scenes where he's desperately trying to put forward exactly. Hell yeah! You kidding me? You can make a compilation of the amount of times that man is like his eyes are watering or he's stressing out all of his veins to show off something. Like, it's just that, what are we working with here? Like, the character of Steven, who the only trait we really understood about him was that people walk over him. And he's like, at this point in the show, he's just kind of like, no, I won't let you take my body.
You know what it feels like? It's like they had Mark, who's the baseline character here, and it's almost like they said, no, that's too strong a male character. We need to pussify him somehow. What can we do? We'll have this other guy called Steven, who's like his alter ego, who's the ultimate fucking wimpy, useless, effeminate arsehole that nobody could possibly identify with. We're going to use him in the bulk of the early scenes.
Well, I can't believe we're this far into the
British
show
people
and the characters haven't I can't believe we're this far into the show and the characters haven't properly explained to each other what the fuck is even going on.
I'm glad you said that, Moore, because I was wondering if I was just being a dumb fuck and not getting it. Because honestly, I was watching the show, I was like, I don't understand the mechanics of any of this stuff that's going on right now, and I feel like everyone's saying things that I feel like I should be clued into, and I'm not.
I'll just go a little bit further and say, like, there's some stuff that I understand, but I don't even know that Steven does. Like, I pretty much get how this is working, at least to some degree, mechanically. But, like, the fucking Khonshu and Mark just, like, constantly talk to him in vagaries and then threaten to take his body all the time. It's just like...
Yeah, give me the body, idiot. Like, all right, cool.
Stuff like that.
But then it's like sometimes he can't take the body when he wants to, and it's necessary. But other times he can just take over, even when the person inhabiting it doesn't want it to happen.
I was thinking that, but they've got a chance to fix this. I don't know if they're going to. If you remember, the only times he's wrestled control off him completely is theoretically what could be that third personality that they're baiting. Maybe that's the only personality that can actually do that. Because but Mark punched him while he was in control of the body. So, so I don't fucking know how it works, to be honest with you. that's my conclusion on that one.
Personality
sounds terrible.
It is terrible.
but how is it doing?
I haven't seen anybody be enthusiastic about it, so I feel like it was mildly different. Well, if it was mildly okay, people would be like, "Hey, man." Like, even though they know I'm not gonna watch it, they be like intrigued by it or asking me. Nobody has literally asked. I had more people ask me about fucking Black Widow and that movie than ever I had fucking Moon Knight. So it can't be doing that well.
I tell you, man, like comparing it to WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Loki, I think I probably hate it the least out of all of those.
So, well, I mean, that's not saying a fucking.
I was gonna say, I can agree with you. It's just the bar is fucking through the floor. Like it's to clear that is pretty easy. To be fair, like
this show is the smartest person on the short bus right now.
All right, I like that. It makes sense.
And it's like I say, it's frustrating because I feel like a lot of the right elements are there to make an interesting story. It's just
they had Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead come on as directors, underused directors. They're amazing. Their stuff is great. Their indie films so good, and they're just like, oh, you do you want to come direct this? It's like,
dude,
they don't get to put their stamp on it in any way, shape, or form. What was the point in them turning up? They're great. Yeah, very, very unique.
A lot of weird and clunky editing and CGI in Moon Knight as well. But I think that's just part of the course now.
Well, what was with that weird freeze frame of his face?
I don't know.
Like, I legit rewound. I was like, did my stream drop out? It's like as it clunked out. It was like, no, they just did a freeze frame of Steven's
Well,
face.
he's slammed right up to Khonshu, and then it just cuts to him outside. I was like, so what happened? Like, what did they have a conversation? Like, what? Okay, all right,
Weird. Very
Well, the
Khonshu is
original
lame as well.
character is Jewish, so when I found out he wasn't going to a deli anytime, I decided not to watch the show.
Yeah, it's like I'm done.
I'm done.
It's over.
No deli scene. Are you nuts? How can you have a character like that and have no deli scene?
I mean, you
It's
know,
in the UK.
Oscar Isaac for attempting a British accent. You know, he's game for doing it.
He's gone with a generic one, but I think he does it well enough that I'm okay with it. You know,
It's that really like, all right, me old mate, like that really. Like,
I'm
London
British.
accent.
It's the stereotype. You ask any American to do a British accent, that's what it is.
But you know what?
Your chimney sweep. Oh, shut up.
No, there's
know what?
also the
Different
Ponzi
choice.
accent. A
Sure.
lot of Americans like doing this one. They like this one. This is their favorite go-to British accent.
That's the stiff upper lip one.
Correct. That's the I'm
There's
on the
a
stage.
South African in that accent, by the way.
A bit of South African.
Yeah, this is a South African accent, eh?
Oh man,
I'm not good with the British accents.
No, that's fine. Do a Scottish one.
A Scottish one. Well, it depends on which part of Scotland you want me to do.
That's
Because I can do a little bit, not too bad. As long as it sounds like Scotty from Star Trek, I can do it.
It's good enough.
Yeah, that'll do. That's all right.
But I can't do a Geordie. And Glaswegian is fun. I mean, being in Glasgow, it's that wonderful lilting kind of
Welsh.
mixture of Irish and Scottish together. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Don't make anybody do a Welsh accent.
And
That's mean.
Who can do a Geordie?
Wee aye, man. You can't whack a good wee aye.
Hey, we should stick within the rules of speaking English, okay? Come on.
Sorry.
More, you fake Welshman.
I was going to say, it's hard for me to do a British accent. I'm putting it all on. I'm not even from this planet.
Damn, man.
What's the next subject?
Yeah, so I think we concluded that Moon Knight seems to be a bit of a missed opportunity.
Yeah,
I've
massively.
seen it.
wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the plus side, Disney's getting absolutely butt-fucked by Florida at the moment. They've decided that
So good.
they've taken away all their special privileges, which I didn't know about, by the way. Like this was
They were
I'm-
insane. What they
I'm
got to
completely out of the
do.
loop on this. Can you, what's going on?
okay.
I don't think it went to the House yet, but it did pass through the Senate of them basically taking away the special privileges, taxes, and or lack thereof that they have. Basically, that whole geographical area
They can do whatever they want with it. They can build whatever they want on it. They don't have to pass any of the. Yeah.
My argument was that I wish they just afforded that to everybody else. Fuck taking it away, just give it to fucking everybody else.
We'll just make it even in some form or another.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what's happening right now. I think they just overplayed their hand, and it was such a weird way, a weird route for them to go because this could have been easily avoided, but they doubled down on this whole fucking parental rights bill, and like they were going to be using their brands to really take the side of these weirdos that I don't know want to fucking groom Kim. Like of
They're
all the
giving
hills
money.
to die on, like it was such a bizarre one, man. And they're feeling it. And I think they weren't expecting that. They thought that, well, we're Disney, we've been around forever. There's no fucking way that they'll do anything to us, and they. Nah.
Yeah, it's like you're in a fucking southern state, man. Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be repercussions for this stuff. But yeah, for Mahler, for you, if you're not too well up on any of this stuff, so like in Florida, they signed this like parental rights bill, which is like this
Anti-groomer.
Yeah, and it basically says like you can't discuss like sexuality with young kids between like the ages of 5 and 9 or something like that, because it's like they're too young for any of that stuff. Because they were worried that teachers were starting to like talk to kids about inappropriate stuff, and so it's like, yeah, you can't discuss any of that with them. And so like they seized upon it as you can't say the word gay to them, like you're trying to erase the identity of gay or LGBT whatever people, and so it became this big political fighting ground. And so Bob Chapek, the guy who's running Disney, his initial line was like, "We're not getting involved in this. We're an entertainment company. None of our business. We're just going to do our own thing." All the activists within his company just fucking flipped their lids, started protesting, like all 5 of them, like holding their little placards outside Disney headquarters saying like, you can't erase us, we're really important or whatever. And so eventually he got scared and basically said, "Oh, like totally, we've done a 180 here. We want to defeat this bill by any means necessary. We're going to fight it every step of the way. We are now a political advocacy company." And so the governor of Florida said, "Okay, you want to get involved in politics? All right, well, here's some politics for you. You know how you've got like a special privilege to do whatever the fuck you want on the land that you own in Florida? Well, we're taking that away from you." And that's what they've done. So
this is the embodiment of fuck around and find out.
My understanding is that Bob Iger stepped in and beat up Chapek.
I think that's the way. Yeah. But yeah, Chapek, he's a soulless money man, essentially. He just wants to make money for the company. And so his initial line was, "I don't care about fucking politics. I'm not interested in being an advocacy group. Just want to make money." But there was so much internal and external pressure on Disney that he caved, and he basically said, "Right, no, we come down on the side of the progressives on this one, and we support."
What a mistake.
His videotaped apology was really difficult to watch. I thought he was duct taped to a chair in Beirut.
Probably,
I mean, he's
maybe.
If you haven't seen it, you need a strong stomach. It's just horrible.
Calling them allies and all kinds of shit. Like it was weird, bro. And then like for those of you that have seen that Reimagine Tomorrow or whatever, where they basically had an all hands on deck company Zoom call, let's call it that. And they had, of course, Chapek said his deal. I've not been a good ally. Promise you I'm gonna do better. We're committed to doing all this gay shit. And I'm like, dog, like why on earth do y'all want to die on his fucking hill? But they had all these people that are like, creatives within the Disney space talking about what they're gonna do. And it's like, they've drawn their line in the sand. It's a stupid one. And yeah, they're getting fucking destroyed. Not just right now. Of course, you're looking at where the shares are at. It's just not boding well for them. And I think Disney, unlike some of the other companies like the Amazons or even Warners of the world, which have the benefit of like other stuff that could subsidize other projects that a lot of people rely on, Disney doesn't have that. Disney is like, of all the mega corporate entities, they are the easiest to defund because they don't have shit aside from they have the theme parks. And that's like accounting for like 40-50% of their income, and they have a control of all these properties. But it's not like, if I go without Disney, like I'm gonna be fucking just fine. Like they don't send my water or give me my food or pay for my telephone. Like unless you like work for them, they don't do shit for you. So of all the companies, they're the ones that should want to keep the customers happy no matter what side of the political spectrum that they're on, because they don't have anything else to rely upon and people can do without their products. So they played their hand, and this is the people were like, all right, well, fuck it. And they're getting destroyed right now. So I'm very fascinated to see what's gonna come from this.
The best thing they could have done, and it's the initial line that Chapek took, was to just say,
shut up. Universal did it. They're they're literally in the same spot, and Universal ain't said shit. They were like,
yeah, it's like, why? Yeah. What is the fucking necessity for them to make political statements? Yeah. There's none. They are a company that does entertainment. That's all they need to say. It's like, look, we just make movies and we do theme parks for people. That's all we're about. We're not interested in getting involved in your fucking political battles. That's nothing to do with us. We're just staying out of it. And it's the same. What is this fucking weird obsession that companies now have to be involved in politics?
Like Ben and Jerry, man. That's what
you sell fucking frozen cream that's overpriced, Why do you need to be involved in social political issues? No one
Form
fucking
of
cares
love,
what you
baby.
think about this
You
stuff.
don't want to drink it. Damn right, they're overpriced.
Well, I think the reason Disney got so involved is because part of their company is ingrained and sort of ingratiated into that group. They literally give money. I think they give money to their employees if their kids or they go through transitions and stuff like
Now
that.
that
So
they're talking about benefits of
Honestly,
paying
man,
for it, like they have
yeah.
benefits
Like,
system, yeah.
if you dance with the devil, sooner or later the fucking music's gonna stop, and that's what you're gonna be left with, and that's what's happened to them.
Yeah.
It's such a bizarre demographic though to cater
It's tiny
to as well.
demographic.
Yeah,
It's a
because
tiny demographic.
and that's why like it's
So
a
strange.
demographic of people. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was a YouGov poll, which is a leftist organization, by the way. But they did a poll.
You talking about the one how they think how big they think the group is versus
that
how big
one,
that
right?
that's so funny.
It was insane. Like they think like 20% of Americans are trans. Like these people are fucking out of their minds. Like they have no, and it's actually
But that's
less than
media.
1%.
But that's media because
Yeah.
media is constantly piling it out. So that's it's constant. You know that.
So they think that they have this warped world that they think exists, but it doesn't. So they have been
So
convinced,
funny.
unfortunately, that this is the demographic of people that we should be catering to because it's going to either make us money in the future or whatever. And it's like, dude, you are catering to a lot. Not only are they, and I'll say this about, I know I'm one of the more political guys here. I'll say this specifically about the left. A lot of these guys are fucking broke. Outside of the fucking champagne socialists, you are catering to a demographic of very unreliable. It's Disney. You cater to families. Most families, like regular families that are going to be purchasing your products, they're not with this goofy shit. So you are trying to alienate your core demographic of customers for the sake of appeasing a group of weirdos that one ain't got capital for the most part, and on the other hand, they don't even represent a significant portion of the population.
I've been to Disney World. I've been to Disney World a lot of times, and if they want to cater to their demographic, they've got to support fat people.
Woo, fat people.
You have to support fat, rich suburban families because
I have never seen more
So
overweight
expensive to get
people
there.
in one place at one time than in Disney World.
Yeah, I've seen the staff have to like properly lean into those like overhead bars to get people onto the rides. Because I've been sat next to a fat person on rides like that, and it's like shit. That bar doesn't cover me because it covers the person next to me because they're like twice.
Oh shit! So you might
diameter
slip
of me.
through.
I was like, I'm gonna fall right out of this fucking thing.
Have I gotten into trouble?
Nah.
What?
We support fat shaming on this channel.
No, I'm just giving you. I've been there many times. I'm always astounded by, Anyway, I won't belabor it.
It's mad. Like I've been into the all you can eat buffets in Florida, like Golden Corral and what is it, like Red Lobster and stuff. There's a lot of fat people there.
Oh yeah, you go to
you
Kissimmee to all the you can eat, and the manager looks at the door of the family coming in and is sobbing.
Yeah.
I appreciate your concern. You may have offended the show. I just like to let you know that you can say fat people as long as you're not talking about women. Then it's plus size.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's stunning and great.
BBW, isn't it? I think is that
Plus
the right term?
size vagina holders.
But
yeah,
this going back to the point you were making there, Ripper, like when it comes to the audience that they're appealing to, it's going to be families.
Yeah,
like those families are going to be like probably not that progressive mindset.
and you're in Florida, when you like this is where it all point. Like you're catering to young, like Ryan was talking about this. He was like, it's probably more people with mullets that work for Disney, like there for their parks, than there are fucking trans people, and he's probably 100% right. But yeah, like you're catering to like families that are, yes, people coming from all over the world. I totally get that, but like base customer families that are in the South, right? Like this is the complete opposite of values it is that they're going to like accept. But like really on a serious note, coming for people's kids was just a big mistake, man. Like that was just, they tolerate a lot. Conservatives definitely in America, I grill them all the time for it, basically having no dignity and just getting slapped over fucking by leftists. They accept a lot, but the kids seem to be where they were like, you know what, we're done.
Yeah, that's what made everyone snap.
Right.
But it's so stupid for Disney to do this and draw their line in the sand. They're doing it in Florida, where they've elected DeSantis, so they obviously like him and they like his policies. So that's stupid anyway. Why would you go up against them? That's the majority. They literally chose DeSantis. They support him and his policies. But then as well, like going for people's kids, the whole nonsense of don't say gay bill. Shut up. It's exactly the same as that. It's don't say suck a dick if you're a man or a woman. It's literally no child needs to know any of this stuff. Yep. Like when I was 5, I wasn't talking about sucking dick, for fuck's sake.
I was talking about milk and cookies.
I was outside playing with dinosaurs and thinking, bloody Wolverine and shit like that. Like no one's like, what? And people and then people equate it to it's so strange. People are like, oh well, you're talking about not teaching sex to 5-year-olds and 9-year-olds, and they're like, don't say gay. It's like, what is homosexuality intrinsically linked to?
Well, that's what
speaking about sex to a 5-year-old.
They told
that sounds awfully homophobic.
They told on themselves because of that. Like, think about that. You have this bill that it doesn't at all specify sexuality. To your point, like,
no, it's open end because anyone you ask would go, no 5-year-old needs to know about P and G. All right, we're all good. Go out and play with some sticks. Yep. Right, everyone would say that. Most sane people would say that. Do you know what I mean? Like
they're telling themselves. That's why I say they're telling themselves, because it's like, if you take something that's neutral, that doesn't specify sexuality, and then you try to make it as an attack on you. Wait a minute, what the fuck are you teaching these damn kids in these schools? So that's what they told on themselves. They told on themselves. And you've seen Libs of TikTok have done a great job keeping up with these guys. And you see these teachers in their classrooms talking about,
mental.
I'm coming out like as a
why can't I talk about my sex life? Because
like,
you're a fucking kindergarten teacher.
Yeah, like dudes like that one guy that got interviewed by MSNBC, and he was like, well, why can't I don't want to be able to, not be able to talk about me paddleboarding with my partner. So I'm like, what the fuck? Wait a minute.
No,
why are you talking to them about that?
Why does any of this nonsense come into like your academic career? But this
came into it when you're hiring people that are so egotistical and egocentric. It's all about me. Therefore, they have to teach everyone about me.
It's probably a tiny percentage of the actual teaching population. I imagine the vast majority of them are just, we want to just do our jobs and teach kids. Like,
I have to imagine there's plenty of normal people who would like to just teach children normal things. Yeah.
Oh, you have to hear the school board discussions here in Ontario. It's absolutely insane. I won't even get into it. It's just gotten nuts.
And
academia in general, even in the UK,
loudest voices are the ones that are heard. Like the most insane nutcases are the ones that get the attention, whereas the vast majority are just kind of quiet about it.
And why are we so afraid of these nutcases?
That's the problem, though, right there. To both of you guys' points, is that it had to get so ridiculous before people were like, okay, there's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? The fact that and
because we're compassionate, Eric, it's because we're naturally compassionate, and we didn't realize we were being used by sociopaths.
That's a good point. I concede that for sure. It's like the fact that we can, like, even as just culturally, you hear the term like trans kids, and people ain't ready to burn knuckle box over that. That lets you know how crazy this shit is. Like, where people are talking about doing stuff that to children, like, we're not talking about adults, literal children, that is irreversible, and we're talking about that as if the shit's normal, like I think that's something that should be happening.
Well, to jump on that and extend it a bit further, why this bill was so important was because not only was that happening to children, but it was happening to children without the consent of the parents. They were actually completely locked out of the decision. So not only were teachers, these lunatics, encouraging children to transition, they were also going, but don't tell your daddy.
Yeah.
Don't tell your mummy about this. We're going to keep that hidden from them. Sorry. If little Jim Bob, if I had little Jim Bob as my son, and he comes home as fucking Jane, I'm going to be a little bit pissed off some days. I'm going to be like, what the fuck's going on here, mate?
Yeah.
What's happened? Are we straight down that school, knocking heads around? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. The schools somehow thought that they had the right to start removing parental control and giving it over to the state, which is just that is what Disney supports. They support
100%.
schools and the state transitioning kids without the parents' control. What a weird hill to die on.
Yeah.
I played with dolls when I was 3, which is why I became a sketch comedian.
Well,
But
if
that's
you were a
why
kid
you
now,
don't like
you'd be
art.
saying that you want to be a girl and you be on your way to transition.
Exactly, yeah. Like you obviously grew up as a man and you were perfectly comfortable with that. Like that's just the thing that you did when you were a kid, because kids do all kinds of things. Like they experiment with stuff, they play with stuff. That's not a problem, but that doesn't mean you want to be something different from what you are.
Yeah.
I
We
remember
talk
being
about this all the
5.
time with like the whole tomboy thing. Like those probably aren't even a thing anymore. You know
No,
what
they're
I
not.
mean?
They're not. They're not.
Like they're convincing them that, oh well, you like to do this. Boys generally like to do this, so you must want to be one. Like what type of fucked up shit? Like again, that was where Disney fucked up. They started messing with people's children, and I appreciate that. That's what happened out of the whole like between that and the COVID. People started paying more attention to what the hell the state was teaching their children, so people were more aware anyway. And then you lead into Disney drawing their line in the sand, like, yeah, okay, we support. This is essentially what Disney is saying. We support the grooming of your fucking kids. That's about plain and
strange.
and it's a bizarre hill to die on.
But Disney made a strategic mistake because they didn't realize what kind of broad support that bill had, even with Democrats.
Yeah,
That
in the
was
South.
that was the real shocker, because DeSantis is absolutely hated by Democrats. So it was a safe bet to go against anything that DeSantis came up with. What happened was they actually agreed with this one bill, and Disney was caught off guard.
It's so strange. I remember having like permission slips for everything when I was in school. You know, like, oh, you know, you'd have to have a permission slip for everything. Now schools like you don't need permission for anything.
Children, man, that's just what it. That's just what it is. They think that, and particularly, look, you know, not to get insanely political about this. Like, definitely, you look at like the more progressive class and like even just Marxism in general. They understand that they need that generation of people for their ideals going into the future. So when it seems like they're targeting your children, that's because they actually are, and they understand, like, culturally, we have to be able to control the conversation there, because if they don't have that, they don't have shit else. So if it feels like they're targeting them, that's because they do. And now I think the difference between now and maybe decades ago is that they're saying the quiet. They feel so emboldened to say the quiet parts out loud. So that now they're like, yeah, we're gonna do it. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? That's basically what
I did quite a bit of reading on this, and the fundamental change happened when we got rid of all the practical skill teaching in schools. I don't know what it's like in the UK, but we've gotten rid of band, we gotten rid of shop, we got rid of metal shop, we got rid of home ec, typing.
Yeah, I mean,
got rid of all of that stuff. And what are you going to fill it with? What's happened is that the school boards and whatever filled it with social engineering. That's what they replaced all the practical stuff with. Now, under normal conditions, you know, your crazy left-wing university professors, you know, would fill your heads with stuff, and then you would leave and you'd get a real job, and then you'd realize, well, okay, I got to grow up. But now there's no more real jobs left. You go to Disney, and there's nothing at Disney that's going to force you to realize what the real world actually looks like. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it's like now, because I graduated high school like 20 years ago. But when I did, like, there was definitely that emphasis on doing a mix of practical subjects.
Correct, and that's gone.
You had your core subjects like maths and English, all that sort of thing. But like then you had the specialist stuff like technical skills, home economics, they used to call it back in the day.
It
was just like learning how to like do bills and be able to fix things, be able to build things, stuff that's actually genuinely useful for fucking people like living in a house, because you know things break, you have to fix stuff. And look, what are you going to do? You're going to get someone out every time you need to change a light bulb? You know, you just learn how to do stuff yourself. And I don't know if they do that anymore. I don't know what they fucking teach people anymore. But
social justice, that's what the fuck they teach. things that don't matter. They're preparing these guys for worlds that again don't exist. It's definitely, when you talk about how it funnels, it's geared to funnel people to the more advanced indoctrination known as university, when a lot of people have no business even fucking being there. It sucks, and these youngsters are the ones that suffer, certainly because of it. But I think that's personally by design, by those who want to control them. Because you think about it, if I don't know if you guys have paid attention to any like polling where it shows where a lot of young people of these like these younger generations, the ones like were behind or in front of me, depending on what way you want to look at it, and the way they see the world. Now you got on an upward of like 30% of them are identifying as whatever weird shit, and then politically they align there. Like that's what it's for. And this is why I love, at least in our case in America, that so many people, parents more specifically, are more aware of what the fuck they're going on. We got homeschooling is through the roof right now. Private schooling is through the roof right now, because now more than ever people are like, what the fuck were they teaching my children?
Yeah,
You know
so
what I mean?
is this something that happened during lockdowns when
Yes,
suddenly
100%, 100% lockdown,
people are
like
doing Zoom calls, and suddenly the parents are looking in on these
Yes.
school lessons, and it's like, what the fuck are you teaching my child?
that was the silver lining of all of what happened. As much as it sucked, as much as these disastrous policies that they were, that's what happened out of that, is that more people saw with their own eyes how jacked this shit was. And also, it allowed them to see that it's very practical for them to find alternative ways to do it, because you had an instance where all these parents had to adjust because the children were going to be at home. So people found that they actually had the means, and it wasn't as unrealistic to maybe homeschool your child or something of that nature. So yeah, that was the silver lining of it. As much as it sucked, that it made people, particularly parents, more aware what the hell was going on. And there's like, you overhear like, wait a minute, what the fuck did that teacher say through that Zoom call? Like, what that's what type of stuff
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eric,
sadly, in the
that,
UK, the unis have been doing it for years. Academia in the UK is full of left-wing rhetoric nonsense, but they've indoctrinated.
I don't know if I was like the last sort of generation that avoided this, but like I graduated about 15 years ago. I went to a technical university, so we didn't have that crap. Like they were all about just like teaching you actual practical skills. Like there was not a single one of my lecturers who was like trying to indoctrinate people into any fucking political ideology or anything like that. It was just pure, we're going to teach you stuff that's going to be useful for you.
It was massive. Now, I mean, even to be called a right winger is now like a slur, and you're like, since when has that been a slur? What?
Man, that's anybody
like,
to the
people
right.
People are fiscally responsible. All right, then, cool. Fiscally responsible individual.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah, cool.
Everybody
such an insult.
To the right of fucking Bernie Sanders is a goddamn right winger.
Yeah, but kids now, so kids between like what? Well, I don't know how young it goes, but generally kids, and I mean that from like, I don't know, mid-20s downwards, kids, right wing is an insult. You're like, I don't like Tories, I don't like this. You're like, all right, whatever. Then you child.
Yep. And that's the cultural battle. But like, to your point, to what you mentioned, I know it's going out there in UK. We see it out here in America certainly a lot with it is a form of indoctrination, not just with the public schools, but with the universities. They, by all statistical data, point to they're heavily leaning one way, and that's, well, they're subsidized by the state. It's being a career-long academic is like the best thing in the fucking world, because you get paid to learn shit, and really the only thing that you can do with them fake ass degrees that you get is to teach other people the fake degree, the curriculum of the fake degrees that you get. That
a lot of those degrees are not worth. They're not worth anything.
Not worth fucking anything. Joke. But it is a mechanism to indoctrinate, because you're being taught all of this nonsense by folks that are generally fucking raging fucking leftists, or maybe even fucking Marxists. So that's the thing. The silver lining with all of this is that it got people more aware. I'd been screaming this for the better part of the last fucking decade about how rotten this institution was, but it's one thing, I guess, to see it, and definitely when you have a little one that you care so much about, and you see what's being taught to them, Like a lot of people don't seem to understand the sum of love. I don't know how it was out there in the UK, but the sum of love in 2020, where you had all these crazy idiots burning cities basically to the fucking ground, to act like some of them weren't like coming from like conservative libertarian parenting. You're out of your fucking mind. But what do you think that they got that bad information from? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think? Like, when you go, I don't know if we've done this plenty of times over on our side, where we look at like, okay, who got arrested that night? And you got so many people that are part of the public education system. You know what I mean? That are walking alongside these guys, tossing bricks and fucking Starbucks and shit. So yeah, like that's where they're getting that information. If you wonder why,
there is any
that way,
any slightly violent protests in the States.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Fiery, but
mostly peaceful.
Most that's the phrase. Yeah, mostly peaceful. Come on now.
I saw
don't be racist or anything. They're mostly peaceful.
Ken Robinson on TED, where he said university professors the only thing they know how to do is make more university professors.
That's what it's designed to do.
And
it's a Ponzi scheme, effectively.
I read about this black dude at Harvard who's now being under attack because he had a really successful school program for the black kids who weren't doing so well, but he kicked ass and it worked well, and the left people are now hate him because he was successful. Do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't heard about that one, but it doesn't surprise me. Definitely, if he's in academia, it doesn't surprise anybody that's worth a damn in academia is going to. They'll set their targets on you. They're going to come for you because they think that belongs to them. And to be fair, I mean, I guess it does. So they'll try to out you, certainly if you are among them and you think differently, which is sad because you think that this is more about teaching people, but it's not. It's more about influence. It's more about who can, like, gearing new soldiers is more so what it is. Ideologically is more so what it is. It's not about actually teaching people things that are useful. If that were the case, a lot of the curriculum, be it in public education or higher education, would not even fucking be a thing. Because again, like to your point, that's what they do is they're pushing out more people that really the only thing that you can do is teach more people that are, it's effectively a Ponzi scheme, teaching more people that want to get this fake degree that you can't do shit with other than teach other people this. And a lot of it's ideologically and
or being SEO experts.
Well, yeah, this is something I wanted to ask about. You know, I don't know if it's the same in America, but it used to be like in the UK, the idea of a university degree was that it would prepare you for going out into the workplace, and it would teach you critical evaluation skills. It would teach you resilience. It would teach you to challenge your beliefs about things, and broaden your horizons so that you could take on a wealth of different ideas. It made you more worldly, and it prepared you for going out into the workplace so that you were, I guess, an attractive prospect for employers because you're someone who's got multiple perspectives on things. That's a good thing. It's good to be open to new ideas, whatever side of the spectrum they come from, left, right, it doesn't matter. You should always be open to like listening to new ideas and new ways of doing things. But it feels like that's not what it is now. It's prescriptive, and it's about you agree with our ideology, or you leave, and that's it.
That's pretty much what it is. I mean, you put that perfectly, and maybe it has been. It's something that's been done and maybe more discreet in the past than certainly what it is now. But that's certainly what it is right now. It is not an institution where you go to specifically like learn stuff unless you are, there's an advantage to certain things that, maybe in the science, you want to become a lawyer, you want to in that aspect. But the vast majority of the stuff that these guys, definitely the degrees these people are getting are not that. And they are prepared for a world. I can't even remember. I think the statistic is actually mind blowing. The amount of people, for example, that are working in jobs for, that are completely, let's say, antithetical to really what it is that they went and studied because they got a fucking worthless degree and now they piled up all this debt or whatever. And so it isn't. And to be fair, even then, it's not like that degree is proving anything to like a certain employer who's like, well, we need to know if you got the skill. anyway. And there's nothing. Yeah, you got this degree, but it doesn't prove that you have this necessary skill. Okay, you're going to have to start from the ground up anyway, which that's something that you could have been doing instead of wasting your time for 4 years. There.
Now I would tell people to go into fucking trade school.
100%, 1,000,000%. That's where America fucked up.
My son's a mechanic.
There you go.
Like stuff that people are always going to need. Like that's the stuff.
Plumbers, electricians.
But there's also a larger political question around this, because if you are not making sure that as much of your population can compete in a competitive space, you're going to be in trouble. China right now is graduating 600,000 engineers every year. Some insane number. And how many engineers is the United States graduating now?
Good point. Got a lot of liberal.
You don't understand. They're graduating 200,000 gender studies graduates every year.
I was a teacher. I taught A levels. You know what they are, drinker. A levels. In the UK. So I used to teach A levels.
I only know it from Harry Potter.
What'd you get up there? What?
Hires. We got hires up here.
Is that what it? Oh, whatever. So I taught A levels. Whatever. So I taught A levels, and it's very, very specific to academia. This sort of concept. It's very much. So I taught technical certifications for A levels. So it was separate to an academic setting. You used to do, lesson plans, and you used to do some actual lessons and things, but it was separate to strict academia. And this is a very much academia setting. This is a virus that has infected that setting in particular, and it's just stagnating cancer within it. It's disgusting. Anything else which is sort of a more vocational side of things, or a technical side of things, doesn't have it. It's not there. There's some of it in there with respect to what you must do. So not like, you need to, you have to sign documents and pass, for legislation, legislative purposes in the UK, you'd have to, approve this and do, training on that just to make sure that you could pass it and stuff like that. But it wasn't in the day-to-day setting, and the individuals that you were dealing with were not the same either. But academia seems to breed that sort of type at the moment. It's very strange, very, very strange.
It is. I don't know. Like, I'm sure there's political channels that can go into this in more depth, but I think the general consensus is that academia was infiltrated from, I think it was like socialism in France, made its way over to America and places like that, and like they kind of got into the universities and stuff. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I'm an expert on this sort of thing, but I can only go on the sort of experience that I've had when I was at university like 15 years ago, and it was a different environment back then. They did not teach stuff like this. They were, at least in my experience, they were entirely concerned with teaching the subject matter, devoid of
those days are long gone.
It was just about teaching you actual useful skills and information that was going to help you. And that was great because, it certainly helped me out with my career. But I don't know if that's different now. Well,
it is different now because these are the people who are inhabiting Disney. We're now gone full circle. This is Hollywood. This is Disney.
Good point.
And Netflix, because Netflix is gone now, isn't it?
They're heading.
They've lost what, 200,000?
They were projected
50 billion,
2.5
50 billion off the market value.
Yeah, they was projected they projected that quarter to get like 2.5, I think, million new subs. And they lost 200,000. So that's like
and they've already predicted they're going to lose another 2 million.
Yes, correct. They predicted that they're going to lose another 2. They're in trouble.
But with such riveting movies like He's Expecting, how could they lose?
God. Everything is against these streaming services now, though. We're out of lockdowns now, so you don't have the captive audience. We're into summertime where people are starting to go out more. We've got fucking inflation, so nobody can afford anything. So we're cutting back on the luxuries, and that's going to include TV and streaming services.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just the glut of content. You know, you've got like, you know, a dozen different streaming services right now that are competing for our attention. They've all got stuff on, but man, it's just too much.
You know what's funny?
Anyone to get their head around.
What's funny is when Grant Tinker was head of NBC and when HBO was out for a little while, someone asked him, what's wrong with television? This is back in when HBO just came out. He said, the problem with television is that there's too much of it.
There is.
We're talking 30 years ago.
It's too wide an option.
And now look at now. It's just nuts now.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, I think that decentralization works out, but at the same respects, you have to be good at what it is that you're fucking doing. It makes no sense if you're just going to be a master of fucking none, and then there's another streaming service that does the same fucking thing and being the master of none. What incentive do I have to reach in my pocket to purchase your fucking shit? None. So they're more so worried about producing, just having content for the sake of having content, as opposed to having captivating or something, some sort of content that people generally want to consume, even if it's unique, even if it's niche. But people are willing to go out of their way and purchase it, and that's not what we're seeing right now. We just see a bunch of people that like just put shit out. Just put shit out. No matter how bad it is, put it out.
So do you think it was a good idea to for Amazon to buy the MGM library?
Yeah, because it gives them so many properties
for them. Yeah, I mean, that was a good move. We haven't seen them do anything with it yet, but it's still a good business move.
For them,
the thing is that like inflation is definitely going to be part of it, but people still have their roots, and you know they still want escapism. Netflix has always been an escape. Like it's synonymous. Like it's do you know Netflix and children. Like it's ingrained in the sort of zeitgeist, but they're not putting out anything which is worthwhile for escapism anymore.
Yeah.
So then people will view that as an unnecessary expense and go, well, it's crap now. See you later. If they were still putting out good content, then people would be like, yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I'll keep that. Point. But they're not putting out good content.
Think, Amazon Prime is the ultimate business model because you're probably going to take Amazon Prime just so you can get things delivered next day.
That's what I have it for.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's also there for like a bunch of TV shows. You want to watch Reacher or whatever. Like, you want to watch The Expanse. It's there. It's on Amazon Prime right there.
It's almost like cheating.
The Boys,
like streaming model, because not only do you get a bunch of shows that are exclusive, but you get a bunch of perks that are additional to that. Netflix can't offer that.
Well, and also Netflix have shot themselves right in the foot, and then they're like, "We're going to clamp down on password sharing." Right, you're fucking done then. Yeah. You're done. So multiple households sharing the same account. No, can't do that anymore. We're going to charge you more money for that. Right, done. No one's interested in that crap. You're done.
The CFO is going to mention that. That's low-hanging fruit. If I was the CFO, that would be one of the things I suggest. Honestly,
but they're already trialing it. That's the thing. They're trial running it already, and they've already put out a figure on what it will probably cost. It's not a small amount. Like, it's enough for you to go, yeah, I'll probably ditch that now.
But that's the thing, man. If your content's dog shit,
well, that's
like it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I believe, and I
like
just see it
from plus.
Yeah. Like, I believe that if it was, we wouldn't even be having this conversation where people are so like, damn, yeah, of course, your average individual doesn't want to be nickel and dime. However, if the content was worthwhile, I believe in any given entertainment industry, they'll pay for it. We've seen this in the alternative space. They'll fucking pay for it. The reason why people are going to be questioning, like, why the fuck would I do that, is because you're not apparently giving them something that's of that much value. And that's the part that a lot of these streaming companies, again, if you're the master of none, what incentive do I have to pay for your product? None.
It didn't help Netflix that Disney Plus came along, pulled all their Disney stuff. Then pulled all the Marvel stuff, and Warner pulled all their Warner stuff. That did not help Netflix at all.
But Netflix has been doing really good things with their South Korean stuff. They really should have just kept pursuing that. A lot of their South Korean stuff, it's not even stuff that they've made. They've just obviously purchased it as a distributor. But their South Korean stuff has been fantastic.
Yeah, Squid Game and Arcane gave them breaths of fresh air as well.
And they'll get another plus with Stranger Things with that coming out. But like I say, that's just not sustainable. It's just simply not. Like, you got to do better than than that if people are going to be paying. What is the price now of Netflix? Like,
Was
it's
it
got to be.
$10
What's the
Canadian.
cultural footprint of Stranger Things at this point? Does anyone actually care about it still?
I think there's still.
I
I don't know, man. I think there's still going to be an audience for that. I think they'll get a boost, but it ain't going. It's not like some. Oh, well, you're going to save the company with fucking Stranger Things.
First 2 seasons were like gold, but like
Fantastic.
after that, everyone got tired of it.
Oh, Drinker, the second season's very bad, my man.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
second
like,
season.
I would have gone into the second season at least and watched it, even if it was shit, because it was like the first season was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the first season.
I
Even with
think
the
it's hard
flaws.
to keep these things going. I mean, Daredevil, the first run, absolutely brilliant. Like, oh my God. Jessica, what was it called?
Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, first bunch, fantastic. You
That
just
was-
can't keep it going.
David Tennant.
What?
David Tennant.
David Tennant, like that.
Oh,
was
yeah. He
was
was
good. It wasn't
great.
Jessica Jones herself.
Yeah, and he's the is he the front runner right now for the return of Doctor Who? Like, that's what Gary reckons, isn't it? That if
They're gonna bring back David Tennant. What the fuck? No.
hey, look, I would have said the exact same thing for Russell T Davies. They were like, they'd never bring him back. It's like they are. So
Yeah,
okay.
but the difference between a showrunner and an actual like.
They've never brought back the same actor, I don't think, have they?
They've
My
they brought him
money's
back,
on
but never
Dame
for
Edna.
another run as a Doctor. So it would be monumental if they did.
How much of a fucking like indictment would that be of like the 13th Doctor? It's like
Extreme
we're bring
desperation.
back a man to sort out your shit that you
Man's got to clean up your woman's problems.
As if we're all not dying for him to bring back like a good writer with a good actor and to just ignore all of the canon from Whittaker's era.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for Dame Edna for the next Doctor.
yeah. I just love this comment as well. Like, remember when we had 4 channels in the UK? I'm old enough to remember that. I remember when
Yeah.
Channel 5 coming along was a big.
That was
fucking-
groundbreaking. That was
Yeah.
groundbreaking. Channel
Come right to
5?
your house and tune in your TV so they could get Channel 5.
Oh my god.
Did you guys ever tune into Dave? That was like a channel, right? It was a
Wasn't that on like Freeview or something like that? That was when
Oh,
that
yeah,
came
yeah,
out,
you'd
wasn't
have
it? I think,
to
or like that's when they
get around to
digitized
it.
it all, I thought.
Dude, I have the day I left terrestrial television is not a day I look back on and like desperately trying to go back. It's like,
I
nah,
remember
right.
when Channel 5 came along and it brought us Xena Warrior Princess, and I was like, holy shit, this is the future.
That show was the best.
It was fun. It was a
Loved
fun
it.
show,
Mm.
you know. And it was you know, people talk all the time about strong female characters. Well, they had one back in the mid-90s, and
Yep.
she was quite well done, I thought.
And they never belabored the fact that she was female. She just did her shit.
Yeah. No, they did.
Fleshed out character, that's why. All the strong female characters were just characters unto themselves. Their gender was kind of irrelevant.
Correct.
But now they start from gender, trying to shoehorn something in, then work backwards from there. Let's build a character around this woman. Right, okay, good. That's the way to go.
I think it's because they just like to have talky stuff on movies and TVs now. It's unbelievable the amount of backstory that they actually explain now, as opposed to just leaving it. Don't give me all the backstory. I don't need exposition around everything.
Well, case in point, Boba Fett. He was an interesting character back in the original movies. Great. Like, it was kind of mysterious. You didn't know who he was. He's just this bounty hunter. It's kind of cool. Doesn't
Clint
seem
Eastwood.
Darth Vader. That's awesome. Now it's like we need to have his entire fucking history and
To be
get
fair,
to see him as like a geriatric old man with dentures and
most of the bullshit was all present day. It wasn't like they went back. If they'd done flashbacks in Camino and showed Jango Fett teaching him shit, I probably would have been okay with that. But we didn't get any of that.
no.
Instead, we got I was swallowed by a Sarlacc, and now I'm a good guy. Makes sense.
This is where we're at.
If my dad wasn't a denturist, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Would you guys be up for doing a few super chats? I've got quite a few that have.
Sure, I have to get going soon, but yeah, let's do it, and I'll take my leave.
All right, we'll do a couple, and then when you're done, just let me know. All right, so the first one was from RRTNZ, who said, "Hail Drinkler and team. Any thoughts on the Thor is gay Twitter media nonsense? Films and 60 years of comics suggest that he's straight, but people see what they want to see. Just makes them look sad. So yeah, we talked a little bit about this. Is Thor going to be gay? Who knows?
There was a
I
hint
don't
of
put
that.
I don't put anything above these fucking losers, man. So I say
I said
bank
on
on
Real BBC, I was just like taken fucking off guard with that shit. I was just like, I thought it was just a joke. I
think
didn't
it's just a
realize
joke.
another.
I think it was just a Taika Waititi joke.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I didn't read into it that he's suddenly going to want to suck his D or anything like that.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. I mean, I hope that's just they were mucking around with people and just having a laugh.
You went right for the sucking dick, and you didn't do an interim cutting hair, styling hair moment. I'm impressed.
We don't fuck around in the UK.
No, you don't. Your guys are good.
All right, go. The next one is Chuxenhausen, who said, "Glad you're back. Are you close to finishing up on Reacher, so you can do a proper review on how masculine leading men should be these days? Also, bring in Wes Kelly to review it with you." So I'm about halfway through Reacher at the moment. I've got a couple episodes still to go. I've been liking it so far. I think, they've done a pretty good job with the character. He feels like an absolute outlier in the leading men that we've got in TV shows nowadays. It's like an absolute, the best way I can describe it is just a proper alpha male who doesn't take any shit from anyone and who can handle himself in a fight. So, yeah, it's been pretty good stuff. But, I'll be interested to review it once I'm finished. Ghost in the Craig says, "Happy 421, and hell yeah, got the one and only Rippa on stream with you." Yeah, we do indeed. Rippa here.
Ripper's great. I love Ripper.
Appreciate it, man.
Jess Pena says, "Mr. H and Young Rippa, awesome." Indeed. We got both of you guys on the one stream together.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that you got in your hands, H?
You should know this Border Terrier.
This is your
From the Scottish-English border. Come on now, you know this thing.
Am I required to get my dog now on my lap?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, those are the rules.
Good, okay.
Those are the rules.
Well, he came up the stairs, so I wasn't going to say no to him. He's my little boy. Sorry.
I could try and bring Lara in, but like she's a greyhound. She's fast asleep, and she weighs about 40 kilos. So man, that's a lot of dogs to lift.
Yeah,
so
no.
I'll probably just leave her where she is. Trenton Quinn says, "How are you liking Texas, Eric? Glad we've got some common sense moving here amid all the nonsense."
Oh yeah, man, I love it. I just have no desire to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like I love it out here. I'm born and raised. I have lived in several other states, but yeah, being in Texas is where it's at.
You and Gary have both moved to Texas now. So
yeah, he's in San Antonio. So he's right down the road. That's where my band's based out of, ironically enough. So yeah, he's right down there.
Nice one. Ghost in the Craig says, "Now that Disney has shown us what they can do with vampires."
I got a bull terrier.
Yep.
Oh man, I've
Very
always wanted
cute.
one of those.
Hey, what's that?
A bull terrier.
An English bull terrier.
Nice. Oh, look at him there. Kill this buck. Oh, that's good, man. Love it.
Keep going. Sorry.
All right. He said, "Now that Disney has shown us what they can do with vampires, any new thoughts or concerns towards that new Blade reboot, or just
Dead on arrival. That's what I say.
Yep.
Done.
What was the Disney vampire thing?
Yeah. It just I've got no confidence in them being able to do Blade justice. I would want narrated Blade for sure. I just don't think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Unhinged says the Drinker and gang are back. Time to make another deposit in the crusty sock. Yeah.
Oh, no.
For yourself, man.
Oh,
Have yourself a posh wank. RFTNZ says, "Okay, Drunkler, now gay Thor has been dealt with. Going to recommend Star Trek The Next Generation Season 6 episode Face of the Enemy as how to write female characters. Troy is forced to impersonate a Romulan. Acting and writing is top-notch." I'm trying to remember that one actually. I don't remember Troy being forced to impersonate a Romulan, so I might have missed that one. But I could absolutely buy it with TNG. Like they nailed the character writing.
I think I remember that episode.
Yeah, that does ring a bell.
You got any clues for us? Was it good?
I liked all of the Next Generation. I thought the Next Generation. I thought that Next Generation was great.
Wow,
I enjoyed a lot of that
TNG's
stuff.
Yeah,
wasn't a single bad episode, huh?
Oh, I can't remember them all. I remember them just being rewatchable. I watched them again because I'm rewatching the X-Files at the moment. Like I like, those. It's nice to revisit some of those old series that you used to like. Does it still hold up? Is it good?
I don't disagree. And like older bad stuff is bad for a more interesting reason most of the time, I find. Watch and be like, oh, look at how the production failed them here, or they tangled up these pieces in the plot, and that's how they fucked that up. Or just
surprisingly, a lot of just is really, really good.
Yeah.
Good.
Red Dwarf.
Oh, Red Dwarf, fucking awesome back in the day. Up till about season 6, and then you're done after that. But yeah, I loved it.
Great show.
An interesting one as well, because I think they asked Craig Charles about this as well, because Red Dwarf had a pretty diverse cast if you were going to go by that nowadays. And he said, what was interesting about Red Dwarf? It wasn't the fact that it had 2 black men in leading roles. It was the fact that we had 2 black men and nobody fucking cared.
Nice.
Yeah.
The funny thing. It was like Craig Charles and Danny John Jules as the cat. Great. Like playing 2 really great characters that were great fun. But no one cared about their ethnicity. It was just an interesting, fun show.
The problem their ethnicity had nothing to do with their characters either.
Yeah,
that's the issue. Is that everyone wants you to care. You have to care.
Yeah.
That's the pain.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever an episode in Red Dwarf where they go into Lister. I don't know, being a victim of oppression or anything like that. Because
they're lost.
He's just a schlubby guy who he doesn't care too much about his job or anything like that, but like he's put into this situation that he never planned for, and that's what makes him interesting. It's nothing to do with his skin color or anything like that.
I loved his Caribbean accent. That's what I loved.
Yeah. He's from Liverpool, so yeah.
Really?
No, he's a Liverpudlian.
Sorry, all this time I thought he was doing a bit of Jamaican in there.
No.
Okay, I guess to me it's the same accent, Liverpudlian and Jamaican.
Yeah,
I think they're all the same.
Right. What's the next one? Is Kevin Christ says, Drinker, please watch and review the movie Brain Dead. It's a trippy movie where the main character has the power to see the evil souls of product brands literally feeding on people. Brain Dead. I thought that was a
Peter Jackson movie?
Yeah, I thought it was a Peter Jackson one.
It might be.
But I thought it was a zombie one.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the premise.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Maybe took things from it that I didn't. Alex Perez says, can't wait for the Drinkers review of Netflix's new hit show He's Expecting. Fuck that shit. Yeah, I heard about this. So it's like a world where men start giving birth.
Isn't that a Japanese show?
Yeah, I think so. Like, what orifice do they push the babies out of?
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but...
Oh, no.
Did Schwarzenegger already do that?
Hell no.
Schwarzenegger did a movie with...
twins?
Yeah.
No.
Where he gave birth.
Junior.
Junior.
Yeah, but that was funny. This isn't going to be played for laughs, is it? This is going to be an allegory for trans men or women or whatever. Bloody...
Yeah.
God damn.
You know it.
I hate the world. Just fucking make it stop.
Make the world stop.
Yeah, I just want to go back to like 1995 or something where things.
Man, that was peak years, man.
Go watch the Japanese version of Shall We Dance. That will make you feel good.
I honestly think, like, you know how like all of us probably look back to like the 70s as that era of genre cinema where it's really cool and like edgy and stuff. The 80s as being like, you know, big crowd pleasing action movies and stuff, and they're all fun. I don't think any future generation is going to look back to what we're doing now and think, yeah, that was the time to be alive. I wish I was around back then.
That's for sure.
God, it's just,
Or are we just aging complainers?
I don't know. I don't want to go down that like old man yells at cloud road, but
I think we're fine. We praise plenty of new things that come out here and there.
yeah,
You can't
man.
be an old man who yells at cloud if you look. Hey, Drinker, you said Arcane was amazing, so yeah.
I thought Arcane was great. I literally did a review of what the fuck was it called? Whiplash. You know, it's a few years ago. Okay,
It is relatively new, yeah.
2015, 2014. Yeah, relatively new. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. We're still capable of producing great new films. It's just like they're not getting the attention that
Northman. Go
Yeah.
watch the Northman.
See,
I'm-
we're not
I'm
just
missing
yelling
the-
at clouds.
I'm missing the kinds of movies like Little Miss Sunshine. That
I remember
kind
that.
of genre
Yeah.
movie.
and that's the mid 2000s, isn't it? I think 2005 maybe.
Something like that.
Those
Yeah.
kinds of movies I'm not seeing.
I think I watched that back to back with Sunshine. By the way, those two movies are not similar.
Those are very different films.
Yep.
Okay, next one is Nick Taker 610, who says Nick Cage says he's turned down a role in Lord of the Rings and The Matrix. There's no alcohol on Earth that would have erased that experience. Who would he have played? Okay, so if he was doing Lord of the Rings, who could Nick Cage have played?
Gandalf.
I think Aragorn. Probably.
They could have made him Faramir, I guess. Like a legit answer. I don't know.
Yeah. Man, the mind boggles if Nick Cage had been Aragorn. That would have been something glorious. Paul Farrar says, all we need to look at the Thor trailer's comment section is entirely made up of AI bot comments from Disney or YouTube. Almost everyone is fake with lots of repeats. The official teaser for the Marvel Studios page.
Yeah, didn't they? I just don't see how, like, because I think they said that was like the 4th most watched Marvel trailer of all time. Like, it's like the least interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
It was the
I think,
same
like,
for Ms. Marvel,
like-
though. Ms. Marvel had a bunch of bots commenting on it.
yeah, it's like, so there's no way that's all legit, man.
I think the movie is going to generate a lot of interest. That's my prediction.
But why? They've only made one decent one.
I'm just saying,
Like, in
that-
the eyes of people. Like,
well, people
they
like
don't really the
Ragnarok,
others.
and this
Well,
is
we're living in it's the land of the blind now.
Hmm.
You know, this is like we're down to the point where every Marvel movie that comes out is kind of garbage. It's like, oh, well, here's something that we remember as being slightly good. So yeah, we'll get excited about that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Spyback B said, will you do me a favor by watching and commenting on Hell's Reach Part 7 on YouTube? This is what happens when you combine Zulu, Two Towers, and Warhammer 40k. What the fuck is that?
wow.
Hell's Reach Part 7.
Hell's Reach Part 7.
I think that is a fan-made Warhammer thing, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but I think it is. I think it's fan-made Warhammer stuff.
JH Walsbach says, "Where's my fucking plushie? Hello." Yeah, so plushies, the drinker plushies are now arriving because I've seen them. I've seen the photo evidence on Twitter, so they are.
Yeah, I got a
now
notification.
arriving.
Mine's on the way. So,
Yeah.
Any
Did you
day
get
now.
yours some more?
No, I haven't gotten it yet, but I've got a notification saying that it's on the way.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Stephen Bobo says, this question is for YoungRippa, but the whole panel can answer. What is your favorite movie starring a black lead? My choice would be Blazing Saddles.
Oh man, that's a
Ooh.
classic. Man, that movie cannot be made today at all. I don't know. I mean, just because it's right on the top of my head, it'd probably have to be like fucking like Blade, man. I mean, I that was such a unique time for me. I was really like just getting into kind of comic book stuff. Probably shouldn't have been watching that shit because I was really young. Well, I wasn't really young, but I was young enough to not watch it. But man, it was so good, and it aged well for me too. You know, being able to watch it again as an adult and just appreciate it a lot more. So biased, of course, but yeah, I would have to go with the easier route is to go with Blade. But if we would just want something out of left field, I'm going with Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite was amazing.
Fucking amazing, man.
I guess I'll
Before I even got in the room.
Shit was hilarious, man. The goddamn probably my second of all time favorite movie, man. Black Dynamite is fucking hilarious.
I'd throw in Django Unchained.
It's a good
I
one.
love that movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go farther back. For me, it was In the Heat of the Night, and that had a profound effect on me because I pretty much grew up in a white neighborhood, and that movie was just unbelievably powerful for me at the time.
I always enjoyed Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington. I thought that was a great, fucking really interesting movie, like where two guys who had different opposing points of view, and the movie really explores like both of them.
It was great. That was great.
And I think Denzel just played that role absolutely perfect. I really fucking liked his character in it. So, and he's playing opposite Gene Hackman. So, damn, two great actors.
We can throw in Man on Fire then as well.
I
hope everyone's seen that.
What was it? Sorry, Man on Fire.
Don't know it. Man on Fire.
It's, Denzel Washington doing Taken, kind of. But I think was that before Taken? I can't remember.
That would be before, yeah.
Yeah, so just that genre sort of thing. He's on a mission.
Yeah. Did you have one, Mr. H?
Well, I've been reading the suggestions. Demolition Man was a pretty decent one.
Oh yeah,
can't beat Demolition Man. Big fan of that. And then loads of people were saying Shawshank Redemption, which I sort of counts. I think that sort of counts.
Honorable mention to Big Mama's House.
Wonderful.
I mean, it's like because when I was coming up, there was just so many of those. Like definitely, like kind of those independent ones too, like Friday and fucking like all of that shit was coming out. Fucking Don't Be a Menace and all those. Good.
Putney Swope was an amazing, crazy movie.
Yeah.
But see, I'm doing all the old stuff.
Yeah.
Putney Swope. You guys are going, oh, what's Putney Swope? I think Robert Downey Jr.'s dad directed that in some crazed alcoholic state. I have to go, gentlemen. I'm going to wave goodbye.
No, it's been awesome having you on, man.
Listen, it's been a pleasure and wonderful to be invited.
Nice to meet you.
Keep it going. Keep it real.
We shall indeed, man. Thank you very much. And for people watching, if you get a chance, subscribe to Call Me Chato on YouTube. The link's in the description.
And we have 20 of these left at $50 each.
Yeah, Canoe Man.
Nice.
Bye, everyone.
Be easy, man.
And then there were 4.
That's it. All right, I'll do a couple more of these. Grimac28 said, Drinker, massive. Wasn't able to get my lady to name my daughter Eowyn, but we compromised on Everly. Cheers. And also hi, Rags. That's awesome. Eowyn, pretty fucking awesome character. I think we'd probably all agree from Lord of the Rings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it cool when movies could introduce really awesome, strong female characters and didn't feel the need to like trumpet it from the rooftops?
Yeah.
And belittle every single man that they interact with. Yeah, I remember that.
Those were worst times, Drinker.
Yeah. Oh man, I missed the 2000s. Josh Knight said, "Need you lads to get to Texas for some barbecue. Love you guys." Fucking love
barbecue, man.
Yes, please.
We only get about 3 days per year in Scotland where you can do a barbecue. So yeah,
We had a barbecue on Saturday. It was great. It's really good.
You learn to appreciate it, don't you, in the UK?
Just real quick, there's sun outside.
Hurry,
Run!
burn some meat, go!
And then you're out there in half an hour. You already got a sunburn. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, that's it. I can't go back inside now. God damn it.
RRTNZ said, Hail Drunker, also going to re-recommend the new Nick Cage film, the internationally hilarious self-parody, worthy of a drinker review. Have one on me, mate. Cheers, man. So is that the unbearable weight of being
Massively
largely-
talented. Yeah. Though, I mean, I haven't seen it, but it's a
I've heard
tempting
very
one
good
just
things
from the
about
name.
that.
I just love how Cage just like completely embraced the meme. He's just like
Yeah.
fully on board with it. It's great. Drearier Spider 1 said airline masks dead, CNN plus dead. DeSantis spanks the mouse. Cheers to a fantastic week, gentlemen. Indeed. Yeah, we've done away with masks in the UK completely as well now, so that's nice. It took us in Scotland like an extra month beyond you guys down in England, so think yourself lucky.
That's because you got someone on a little mad power trip up there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We got the power hungry dwarf up here, but yeah, we got there in the end. I mean, I didn't give a fuck about it anyway, but yeah, it's for the people who actually cared. They can now take masks off in peace. Lucio the Doberman says, "Wow, this is better than Infinity War." Well, yeah, we didn't make quite as much money, but we try. Evo Devil says, Hail Drinker and Mauler. Awesome to see YoungRippa on the stream. These streams are truly the crossovers that the people need. Cheers. Yeah, it's great. We get to have a bunch of different people on every time, so it's a real pleasure. And tonight was different because like everyone's first timers. Brenton Palmer said, perfect timing. Finally get to see all of you massives live. Love you and your guest work. Drinker, will you check out Nick Cage's new movie, Love from New Zealand? I'm going to have to watch it now because it's getting so much praise.
You can let me know if I should see it.
Yeah. Did you get around to watching Peacemaker?
No, I asked if you said when you said like it's like you're okay, right? You didn't say you should.
Yeah, I reviewed it. And did you watch my video or?
Oh, the video. Yeah. I didn't see the show though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my take was it was all right mostly.
Yeah.
It could have been a bit smarter in places, but overall it was pretty funny, and I think you'd probably enjoy it.
But should I see that or All of Us Are Going to Die or whatever the name of that show was? Which would you have me watch? The zombie one or the Peacemaker one?
Oh, more. Why'd you do this?
It's the West versus. You got to figure it out, Drinker.
I'd probably say watch All of Us Are Dead. But you have to watch it and praise it then.
So if I watch it and don't like it, I can't be a co-host anymore.
Yeah, you have to leave.
All right, fair deal.
I think you would enjoy either, to be fair, but you, from a writing point of view, you probably get more out of All of Us Are Dead.
Well, sweet. Obviously, I'm behind on a couple of shows. I got to catch up with Halo.
Do you though?
I hate it so much. It's such trash.
We've already organized for a DFAP episode going over it. Hey, Fringy's obsessed with Halo, or at least knows a lot about it. He's furious at the show. I'm more so like, you guys ever have that where like an IP is getting destroyed and you don't even care about the IP, so you're just kind of looking over like, yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. That sucks.
No, I don't care about Halo, but I'm more just like these decisions are dumb and listening to the actors try and simp for it as well is dumb, and it's just. You just know what's going to happen. The moment they announce these things and they go, "Oh, we're doing a silver timeline," you're like, "Oh, it's going to be shit then, isn't it?" Oh, we haven't even played the games. Yeah, it's going to be shit then, isn't it?
Well, it's like the Wheel of Time series on Amazon. Like people are raging about that, and they wanted me to review it, and I'm like, I just don't care. I haven't read the books. I feel bad if you're a fan of it and you've seen it getting trashed, but like I can't relate to it at all because I just haven't watched it, so I don't know any better.
I see the beauty of Halo is it's so bad that you can just hate on it regardless. Like the first episode, they legit CGI a prop gun.
Yeah,
he throws his gun, and then they do another shot. So shot, he throws it, shot of the ground, and it's a CGI gun. He had
The
a
best
real gun in
part-
his hand that he threw on the floor,
Yeah.
and then on the floor was a CGI gun.
The best part is they
This
could
is
have cut that
$10
out.
million. $10 million an episode
Damn.
for that.
That shot of the gun landing is like, we don't need it. Nobody needed it, and yet they. I wonder how much that one
weirdest
shot
thing.
cost. It
It's
is.
so
weird,
strange.
like Alec Baldwin thing, where it's like we're not going to have real guns on set, so we need to CGI them or something.
Well,
No, 'cause they have
were
actual
prop guns
guns.
anyway. Yeah, like they
He
weren't
had a real gun in his hand, a real prop. He threw it on the floor, and it became CGI.
What the fuck?
Oh,
Why?
mate, it's the weirdest thing. And then one guy standing there with his minigun on the back of his truck, at these elites, right, these big alien monsters. Nothing's happening to them. They're fine. Master Chief gets the minigun. They're dead. It's the same minigun.
Yep. Well, Master Chief's better because he pulls the trigger better.
God,
Yeah.
so
Just
shit.
go.
It's so dumb.
Scott Vakra said Tarantino said these things go in cycles. In reality, ideological movies, unless they are metaphorical, will always be insufferable. Obvious. Good writing will alleviate this. I wish it did, but I'm still waiting for it to fucking happen. It's been 10 years from now. Yeah, still going. A. Marcellus said, my dad saw the Batman. He gave it a C+. He said Matt Reeves was in over his head. Pattinson was too stiff, and Michael Giacchino's score was horrible.
Horrible. Wow.
I don't really remember much of the score, to be honest. I don't think it was.
You don't remember the You don't remember that? And then all like that leitmotif spreads throughout like all of the different songs they played in different ways. Like they have the piano version and violins bringing it in.
I think the Batman would have been fine if you cut the last 30 minutes out of it.
And then the story would just it ends with Riddler getting put in jail. Is that where you'd end it?
Yeah. Like he planned the whole thing, and like that was him. Like he was happy to have achieved his aim and killed the crime boss and stuff. I would have been okay with that.
No.
I didn't need that final shootout.
Again, I'm fine with the length if it's like justified. I just didn't understand what was happening in the third act, really.
Yeah, it was kind of tacked on, and it kind of cheapened the Riddler's character. Like when you see him like screeching away in his prison cell, and he's like, it wasn't supposed to happen like this."
Dude, I saw a discussion on Reddit where they were like, "Yeah, that was super cringe," and then someone else was like, "You idiot! It's supposed to be cringe. He's not right." And then it's like, no, I don't think you understand. Like, we don't want Vader to be cringe. You know what I mean? We don't want characters like.
You know your villain is wrong, but they still have to be like formidable in what they're doing.
Preferably, yeah.
The Luring 89 says, nice combo, The Drinker with Eric July, 2 with great content and great cultural taste.
Appreciate that.
Well, I can't vouch for myself, but yeah, rip it on. Next one is Jay Bond says, religious-based media probably isn't your thing, but have you heard of The Chosen? It's the first media depiction of Jesus that I actually like. No, I'm not familiar with that, to be honest. Jesus on screen was in fucking Passion of the Christ. And that was quite a while back.
Yes, it was.
Simply Rocco said, Hail Drinker, Ripper and Company. I actually work at AMC, which owns BBC America and Acorn TV, etc. Every time I pass by any Dr. Karen items or stuff, I literally stop working and go and take a shit.
Okay.
Seems like the thing to do, I suppose. Ubu Roy says, sponsoring The Drinker to say Rippaverse in order to sponsor YoungRippa. There you go. Rippaverse.
Yeah. Let's do it. We're creating, so let's do it.
I'll do a couple more and then I'll finish up. Moritz Stritmatter says, my credit card is burning hot already, but I'd like to hear your thoughts on 3 groups on YouTube. The politics, the nerds, and the anti-tubers. I don't know. What's an anti-tuber?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Anti-tuber, I don't know what that is.
Politics, I fucking hate politics. So generally speaking, I would like that to go away, especially for my entertainment. Nerds, I'm fine with. The only problem is nerds has become mainstream now, so it's not nerdy subculture. It's just the mainstream. That makes it like just infinitely shit. And
Little bit.
I don't know what they are. Carrier, a Raccoon City story, said, "What's up, Drinker and company? Just wanted to wish everyone a cheers in honor of tomorrow being Friday, as well as I finally released the first episode of my Resident Evil Max Payne crossover animated graphic novel. Cheers." That's a hell of a crossover.
Yeah,
That's an interesting
Resident
crossover.
Evil. That sounds fucking cool, actually.
Yeah.
And Scott Vakra said, "Showed me your Miss Marvel video when Thanos smacks Captain Marvel. Everyone cheered. We have hope for the future."
It was
Everyone
a moment of hope.
Man,
That
honestly, that was one of the few moments where people were rooting for Thanos when Captain Marvel showed up. It was
Dude, it makes me think there was a version where she just single-handedly beat him, and they were like, maybe,
I bet
maybe
you
not.
there was. I bet you there was. They tested it. It was like, ooh, no,
well, I
didn't go
did
down
hear
very
that
well.
they had like two versions of that movie where it was quite Captain Marvel heavy, where she had like good 20-30 minutes of screen time, and then the version that they ultimately used where it's like she's on screen for like 2 or 3 minutes.
literally at the beginning and at the end, and that's it.
Yeah, and they were
No,
like,
still
"Yeah,
way too much.
better."
That's a good point.
Everyone hates her. I don't blame it. It's like, what do you even do when a character like that is around? Like where Thanos hits her with everything he's got, and she's just like is unfazed by it. What do you do then? I think that
I don't know, call us some
Give up, man.
misogynistic obscenities. That would work, I guess. Yeah.
Can you imagine if Thanos had said, "Make me a sandwich" as he punches it?
Get in the kitchen, bitch.
I punched her and been like, "How about a little smile?"
Oh,
Let me knock a smile on your face.
Oh man, I love it.
God.
Oh god.
Wait for the Marvels to come out, man. Honestly, that movie is going to be legendary. But yeah, like I know we've been going for about 3 hours now, I think. Obviously I'm not going to get through all my super chats tonight, so I'll probably just do them in a catch up. So for anyone who's sent a super chat and that I haven't got to yet, obviously apologize. I will absolutely do that on my next live stream, probably on Sunday night or something. But yeah, for tonight, like I just want to say thanks to you guys for coming on board for this. Thanks for YoungRippa for coming in, and
Anytime, man.
both
Thank
of you
you.
guys are awesome. Mr. H, I'm glad your internet's finally working.
yeah.
Yes, I. No, I appreciate it. It's been good. Been really good. Loads of people have been hassling me to do it. So yeah, it's good. Very, very good.
Yeah, and YoungRippa, yeah, like first time you've been on for this, and yeah, I appreciate you taking some time out to do this, man. It's been
Dude,
great.
anytime, man. This was certainly fun, man. As soon as you hit me up, I was like, absolutely, man. Great time. So it's been fun, man. So hopefully we can certainly do it again.
Absolutely, definitely. And Mauler, yeah, I tolerate you being here, so yeah, that's whatever.
I tolerate all of you.
But
But seriously, though, I don't think I've met Mr. H before this stream, so nice to have a chat, sir. Maybe
Yes,
we'll talk in future about everything being shit. Who knows?
absolutely. More than willing to.
I know you're a bit of an expert on the aliens universes. I've seen some of your videos on that, like aliens lore and stuff. So,
What's
man.
better, Alien or Aliens?
So what's better?
Yeah.
My personal favorite is Aliens. That is my
Oh
favorite.
my god, we should make stuff together.
There's a reason that I was introduced to that first. So that was my entry point to the franchise. So it's kind of that initial thing where you go, oh, I really like that, and then you go backwards. You're like, oh, okay, there's more to this. So
I love them both, but my heart goes to Aliens. And
Yeah,
Aliens is a superb film. Very, very good. Really, really
I think it comes down to what would you rather rewatch, and like for me, it's like Aliens every time.
Yeah, I mean, Alien has its kind of like it's that wow factor straight away, and then you're like, oh, okay, like it's still a fantastic film, cinematography, composition, everything's really, really good, and then it is, rewatch value is not exactly the same as Aliens. There's a lot more going on in Aliens for rewatch value, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like I just want to say as well for everyone that's tuned in tonight, like hope you've enjoyed yourselves. Like thanks for doing this. Thanks for the great super chats, and thanks to my great mod team that have been working hard on all this. Yeah, I'll be around on Sunday probably to do a super chat catch up. And I know I'm going to be doing a live stream with I think the Mr. Brown Alliance, where I'm going to be talking a little bit about Predator. I know I've covered it on my own channel, but I'm going to be doing it on his live stream in about 2 weeks, I believe. So that should be awesome as well. And yeah, for this evening and anyway, that is all I've got for tonight. So go away now.
Bye-bye.